So this is just an interview for the newspaper. I just have a couple of questions.
Mr. Gray will see you now.
What was he like?
He was polite.
Intense, smart, really intimidating. Do you have any interests outside of work?
What about you? I'd like to know more about you.
There's really not much to know about me. Look at me.
I am.
To what do you owe your success?
I exercise control in all things, Miss Steele.
It must be really boring.
I'm incapable of leaving you alone.
Then don't.
I had a rough start in life. You should steer clear of me. I don't do romance. My tastes are very singular. You wouldn't understand.
Enlighten me then.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of any major corporation whatsoever.
Welcome to the Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is
Reverend Steve, I am the founder of the Church of Ed Wood, husband, father of various podcaster, storyteller, professional storyteller, retail survivor, amateur tattoo artist, and all-around good guy. It is episode 172 of the podcast. Quite impressive to think when we started this podcast in 1996 that we would still be going strong.
Yeah.
In 2018 is quite impressive. Quite impressive.
They said we couldn't do it.
Yeah, we really were the first people to do podcasts. Back then we were doing it on LPs.
Yeah. Which was really difficult. People don't understand the struggle.
Yeah, people have no idea. So, before we really get started with the podcast, I wanted to start with a few quick hits.
Okay.
Quick hits. Just some things I wanted to mention in the beginning of the podcast that I didn't write into the podcast and that I didn't want to spend too much time on. Number one, there was a WWE pay-per-view this afternoon.
This afternoon, okay.
Yeah, because Saudi Arabia is changing Like they just allowed the first ever American movie theater chain to open in Saudi Arabia ever. An
Yeah.
AMC theater opened in Saudi Arabia. Not only that, but they were allowed to show an American movie. It's the first time that in Saudi Arabia that an American movie was shown in 40 years. Black Panther. It was Black Panther.
Really?
And it's
Okay.
such a big deal that government people are there and like politicians are there in like their finest outfits to go see Black Panthers. It's so, things are slowly but surely changing. If a woman drives a car, she will no longer be immediately shot in the vagina.
That's
another,
nice. That's nice.
that's
Finally.
Another sign of Saudi Arabia slowly but surely changing. The WWE was allowed to have their first ever live event. It was a 5-hour pay-per-view, and it happened at noon, our time. Really weird.
Yeah.
That a pay-per-view for the first time ever occurred at noon on a Friday. But yeah, it was interesting. It was 5 hours long. It featured a number of people coming back, and one weird thing about it is the fact that because this is still Saudi Arabia, it was a 5-hour long pay-per-view that featured no female wrestlers.
Okay.
Because you can't have that. It's still Saudi Arabia, you know? You can't have a woman nearly naked jumping off the top rope.
And they have the glowy orb, so I would be careful.
Yeah. So I watched some of that. That was interesting. It was weird. It was a lot like a WWE pay-per-view, except the audience wasn't filled with a bunch of 30-year-old assholes who were ready to hate everything.
Yes.
It was weird. It was a pay-per-view, but everyone in the audience was happy to be there. It's like, wow, that's weird. I expected a bunch of like 20 and 30-year-old guys who are ready to boo everything and start throwing things. But no, so that happened. That was weird. Number 2, do you remember Yahweh Rules 2?
Yes. How can I forget
the guy who had his
Yahweh Rules 2?
Yeah. The guy who had his own YouTube page from Oklahoma City who was putting posters all over Oklahoma warning about demon clones in transsexual bodies.
Yeah.
And all gay people are actually filled with demons and they need to be stopped. Anyway,
Donnie Most is a woman.
Yeah. His YouTube page is gone now. His YouTube page is gone, 100% deleted. I have no idea why. But all I can think of is, wow, who would have thought that putting your own personal home phone number in every single video you post on YouTube, who would have thought that was a bad idea? I thought, that's a winner. That's a winning idea, but apparently that's bad. So, farewell Yahweh Rules 2. I really missed him and his craziness. I had to delete my YouTube playlist, Oklahoma Crazy 2018, so that will be missed. That's number 2. Number 3, I'm in the middle of a huge anxiety attack, and it's all YouTube's fault.
Oh, okay. What do they do now?
So usually when a big movie comes out, I try and spoil it for myself. Not sure why, but I always try and figure out like the twist ending to a film, the ending to a film. Sometimes it just makes me feel better. I knew about I knew the ending of Black Panther before I went to go see Black Panther, and I've just been doing this for a while, spoiling movies for myself. But when it came time for Avengers, I said, no. I put my foot down, drew a line in the sand, other things. I said, no, I'm not spoiling this. I even went so far as to go on Facebook and start snoozing people. You can snooze people. If you don't want to unfriend someone, but you don't want to hear any of their shit, you can just shut someone up for 30 days. You can just snooze them.
Nice.
For 30 days.
I didn't know that.
And I've been doing that for people. I've been doing that for some Republicans that I just don't want to unfriend. Because in order to continue being a Republican in our modern day, you really have to do some crazy gymnastics, mental gymnastics.
Yeah.
And I'm just...
No.
I'm not okay with that.
You don't necessarily have to do some crazy gymnastics to continue to remain a Republican. you have to do those in order to be a Republican who supports
Yeah,
Trump.
in order to be a Republican who supports Trump.
Yeah.
I can't believe that President Clinton has had an extramarital affair. He needs to be removed from the presidency. Oh, what year is it? 2018? Well, the president's extramarital affair is none of our business. That's what Republicans who support the president are doing now. So I went on a snooze. A snooze-a-palooza. Snoozing people who are Facebook friends of mine who I thought might ruin Avengers for me.
Yeah.
And to show you how serious I am with this, I will not hear from my brother for the next 27 days.
I'm going to go nice on that. Yeah.
Yeah, because if anyone was going to spoil it for me, he was like the main suspect.
And your brother's a bit of a jackhole anyway, so.
Yeah. So I went on a snooze-a-palooza, snoozing people, and I've just been ready. And I was picking up Amber from school, and I was scrolling through YouTube, and apparently some jackass recorded a bootleg of Avengers Infinity War and posted the end scene on YouTube. And it popped up on my feed as something you might be interested in, Steve. And it's this grainy video, and it says, Infinity War ending, parentheses, 2 words, parentheses. I'm not saying what those 2 words were, but I'm just really pissed off now.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't blame you.
I got an Infinity War spoiler.
Don't give it to me.
Batman dies.
Yeah. Ben Affleck is sad.
Oh, you know who I heard was in it? That one night show host. What is his name? Jimmy Kimmel? Fallon? Kimmel.
How many
Jimmys? One of the Jimmys.
One of the Jimmys is in it. I thought.
Jimmy Johns?
Jimmy
I heard
Johns.
Jimmy Johns is in it.
Yeah, they're fast.
I heard that Jimmy James.
Food, huh?
Jimmy James is in it. He's the guy who ran News Radio. So I'm not in a good headspace. That happened an hour ago, and I'm still pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I normally don't much care about spoilers either way, much like yourself. But yeah, this one's a little different because we've spent a lot of years building up to this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big ass deal for me. Going to see it tomorrow night. Don't fuck this up for me. Hey, Bunny.
Yes.
Here's a fun fact for you, okay? This is a fun fact. A little tidbit, a little bit of trivia for you, Bunny. Did you know that you can fuck a peach?
No. And I don't think I believe it. And
yeah,
how does a peach give consent?
Well, I'm assuming you have to take out the pit first.
Yeah.
But
or heated up water.
I actually did not know that you could fuck a peach. In fact, I'm just completely ignorant, I think, on which foods are good for a man to shove his Wii controller into.
Yeah.
And I would like to take some time to say that it was work. It was work to have somehow not seen any of the American Pie movies.
Yeah.
That was hard back in the day to have not seen any of the American Pie movies. When the first one came out, I was 22 years old. That was prime sex comedy age, Bunny.
Yes.
It was hard not to have. I've never seen American Pie, any of the American Pies. Anyway, there's a movie, and it came out at the end of last year for Oscar inclusion. It's based on a book by author Andre. I don't have to know his name anymore, so fuck that.
Okay.
But this movie, it's called Call Me By Your Name. That's the name of the movie. Art film. It was up for Oscars. I believe it won Best Adapted Screenplay. Because Tommy Wiseau can't win it.
Yeah.
So one of the characters in the film has sex with a peach.
Okay.
There's a peach fucking scene, Bunny, and what's even stranger is that there was a peach fucking scene in an Oscar award-winning film. Therefore, I think it's safe to say
So,
that there's a new popular trend in high society, and that trend is peach
the
fucking.
Venom
Peach fucking.
trailer.
Yes.
I have,
Its time
Peach
has
fucking is the
finally
new
come.
hot thing. It's a trend.
are you interested?
What did you say?
Its time has finally come.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
After
maybe-
so many
Hashtag
people,
peach fucking.
after so many people, fucking peaches in silence and in shame. You know, it's good
Yeah.
to see that the peach
Slight
fucking
aside-
community can finally come out and start fighting for its rights.
Yeah.
The saliva thing?
Slight aside, I told my wife that I wanted to fuck a peach, and my wife freaked a bit out
Yeah.
because that same day Natasha's internet friends had just brought up "Call Me by Your Name" and the peach fucking scene that same day. So to be clear, oftentimes I jokingly refer to myself as psychic. Now it's always bullshit. It's just that sometimes it's less bullshit.
Mhm.
It really does, like, coincidentally coincide really well with a lot of things in our lives.
Yeah, coincidentally coincide. I saw them in concert.
I know
they were
were
amazing.
fantastic.
They were amazing. They did that entire concept album from '97.
I know, and the colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
God.
it was incredible. So peach fucking.
Peach fucking.
I'm a slave to trends, but I'm
Yeah.
a slave to popular trends. So for the last 3 weeks, I've been looking for
I mean, like,
peaches
if
to
it-
fuck.
If it was
Uh-huh.
really...
And oh my god, there are no peaches in this city! I swear to God, and believe me, I've looked. There are no peaches anywhere.
You know what would have been it?
Of
There
course
are,
I
I
am.
am so down with that. Okay, look.
Of course I am.
You gotta.
You know what
gotta
the
try
perfect
it.
one would have been?
Huh.
Remember that one, the day, my due date for Bella, and we went to downtown to the store, and I had to hand over my keys to my old manager so that he could take over my job while I was
Yeah.
on maternity leave.
Yeah.
And we walked through Farmer's Market, and I picked up that peach, and I will
Yes.
never forget. That was the most delicious peach, but it was fucking huge.
Huge.
That, would
That
have
was
been
a
the
huge
perfect
peach, yeah.
one.
Yeah, that was a huge peach.
Personally,
I've been looking for peaches,
personally,
right?
if I had a penis, I would go for an orange. You know.
Oh
like,
no,
you
the
know,
citrus.
Like
The citrus. No, ouch.
I mean, like, I'm not saying I would.
Clementine,
I'm
you got
about
pencil
to. I'm about to say it wouldn't work, but like, ideally, if the citrus didn't hurt and it wasn't fucking
Yeah,
all kinds of sticky,
gotcha.
you could take the stem part out of the middle and then just.
You know, I imagine if it didn't have such a huge seed, a mango wouldn't be too bad.
I'm old fashioned. I'm still a melon man.
The avocado altogether.
Hold on, what was that, Bunny?
I'm old fashioned. I'm still a melon man.
A
Melon.
melon man? Yeah, see, I was just telling the girls here about, cantaloupe.
Yeah.
Watermelon.
They said watermelon. They countered with watermelon. So,
Any
Not
kind
muskmelon, though.
of a honeydew in a pinch,
yes, a honeydew would work. I mean, especially if you didn't take out the gooey bits.
Yeah.
Fuck a cold watermelon like a man.
So I told my wife that I've been looking for a peach and I can't find a peach, and so my wife says, "Oh, peaches aren't in season." But yeah, and yet when strawberries aren't in season, you can still find fucking strawberries.
No, because there's the different strains of strawberries you see, and they're also imported.
When other things aren't in season, you can still find other things, but
This is
peaches aren't in
Oklahoma.
season. It's just
You
ridiculous.
know,
is what I'm
watermelon
saying.
seed
Yes.
inside.
Sorry,
You-
he's stealing the child's toy because it's too loud, and the toy has no volume control.
Ah.
Yeah.
My baby sisters have one now.
No, it's loud and louder.
The danger. The
I just-
dangers of
I just think
watermelon
it's-
fucking
I
is
just-
getting a seed stuck in the top.
I just think it's odd that I can't find a single peach. So here's what I think, okay,
Yeah.
buddy? Remember, I live in the Bible Belt, the holier than thou Midwest, and I think that peaches might have been banned. Why? Because peaches are gay now. Peaches are the
ooh.
Peaches are the devil's fruit now.
That is a distinct possibility.
That's what I'm
The
thinking.
red bag.
Interesting follow-up, Bunny.
Yes.
Interesting follow-up. The director of the movie Call Me by Your Name is this Mexican director, and he did this Oscar award-winning film, this massive Oscar award-winning film, and the studio said, "Wow, you won an Oscar, and this is such a big deal, and everyone's talking about this film. You can do whatever film you want. What film do you want to do next?" And the Mexican director said, "Suspiria."
Okay.
So now he's doing this modern day remake of Suspiria, and so CinemaCon is happening right now. The convention for people who own for people who own movie theaters, and they showed scenes from Suspiria, and Twitter exploded about it because apparently these scenes are so fucked up that theater owners were leaving. Theater owners were leaving, freaked out, and just like screaming and just no.
Me.
What is it?
It is.
So funny though. Fuck off.
Yeah, there's apparently some really serious like body horror.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, like I and it's supposed to be just hideously graphically frightening. Tilda Swinton's in it, so already it's pretty scary.
Yeah. There's been talk of a Suspiria remake going on for quite a while.
Yeah, well, apparently
I
now
thought
a bunch of
Guillermo
people
del
are talking
Toro
about now
was
that,
going to do it.
Nope, it's this weirdo director of the Peach fucking movie. The weirdo director of the Peach fucking movie is now doing his own remake of Suspiria, and apparently it's the shit. Just wanted to let you know that you're one of the few people who, who I can talk to Suspiria about.
Yes.
Stop pinching my titty.
Exactly. Stop pinching my titty, bunny.
A movie I was never too terribly fond of. I mean, Suspiria gets kind of draggy.
It's a beautiful looking film.
Yes, it is. It's gorgeous to look at. But after that, there's not much plot or substance.
Yeah, and the use of color and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Bunny!
Yes!
Let's talk movies. The silver screen, the big screen, the cinema.
Yes.
Because there's a lot happening right now. First off, the sound engineer pornographic film A Quiet Place continues to excel expectations, pulling in over $132 million in just 17 days and on a $17 million budget.
Huh.
Plus, let's also not forget the most amazing part of the success of A Quiet Place, the fact that suddenly people give a shit about Jim from The Office again. That's probably the most amazing part of this film, is that suddenly I'm seeing a lot more of Jim from The Office. That's the weirdest part.
Yeah.
People care about
Shut up, I've always fucking cared about Jim.
Jim from The Office. Maxwell, are you just watching the beginning over and over again? Are you trying to see which one has Venom? That's Spider-Man 3. That's Venom. That's Spider-Man 3. Could have just come to me in the beginning. I can let you.
You just clicked on 2. Go down. There you go.
There you go. That's the one with the number 3 on it.
The worst.
Because he loves Venom. And as much as I hate, what's his name?
Tobey Maguire.
No, the guy who played Venom.
Oh.
The guy who played Eddie Brock. That 70s show. Topher Grace. As much as I hate Topher Grace, at least his voice is normal.
At least he's not the one prancing down the streets, dancing.
Yeah.
Making me super uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I saw the preview for the new Venom movie, and
Everyone wants to fuck it?
No, I don't care about that. The thing that I hate is that the guy playing Eddie Brock has the worst New York accent I've ever seen. Hey, how you doing? My name's Eddie Brock. Hey,
I'm walking here.
I'm gonna get a hot dog. I got this goo on me. Now I'm Venom. Ooh, scary. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Do that just a little bit more, please.
I don't know if we should try and get this Spider-Man. I'm speaking from the side of my mouth.
The
No,
little bit I've
All I
seen
see
of
is
this
all the
current
people
Venom.
spit from your mouth in the sunlight, and it's grossing me out. I can't sit here anymore.
Well, the
And
thing
not
that
to mention the fact in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that sun's going to be directly.
the thing that you're seeing, that's probably just a symbiote. Symbiote. Because that's how it's pronounced
Symbiote?
now, apparently. Symbiote is how it's pronounced.
You know what the best
According
thing
to the
is?
new
Stupid
preview.
because
Symbiote is how it's pronounced now. I always thought it was symbiote, but fucking whatever.
yeah, it should be symbiote because it's a symbiotic relationship.
You know what the best
That's
thing to
kind
come?
of what it's based on.
You know what the best thing to come from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans were?
My secondhand embarrassment.
Simmons as
Oh, JJ.
No.
J.K. Simmons.
The
JK
best.
Simmons.
What's his name?
Like JK Rowling? No.
His name is J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, but it's
J. Jonah Jameson.
that's what I said. It's
So nobody
JJ,
could outdo that
JJ.
shit.
The best part of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans
That was
is
great.
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw, yes.
Bonesaw. Bonesaw is ready.
I
The
think
best
I have to
I don't
agree.
know. I don't remember that. I've tried to block these Tobey Maguire films
Yeah.
out. No, see, Tobey Maguire fucked Spider-Man up for me so bad. I have refused to watch any of the new ones because I don't want to be
I
disappointed.
thought I showed you Homecoming. That was really good.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was but you know what? That was the first one, and it took how long for you to get me to fucking sit down and watch that?
Yeah, long time.
Because Tobey Maguire just like we were sitting in the theater, and I was just like, oh my god, Steve, this is making me so uncomfortable. I am so embarrassed for him.
Yeah.
Like that, I suffered such a I got fucking secondhand embarrassment PTSD going on because of Tobey Maguire, and I refused to watch that and watch another Spider-Man film until Steve forced me to watch Homecoming.
Yeah.
Because he insisted I watched Homecoming because Spider-Man was in Marvel now.
And I loved their take on Mary Jane
Yeah.
because she was wonderful.
Anyways,
It's gonna be
I'm sorry.
Why are you here? You don't have detention. Yes, I just like to sketch people in crisis. Then there's the massive success of Super Troopers 2. And by massive success, I mean that Super Troopers 2 somehow didn't completely bomb.
Yeah.
So technically, it's a big success. If you remember, people said the same thing about the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry. People said, hey, this movie isn't all crap.
Uh-huh.
But
My dad loves that movie.
That's what they said at the time. Nowadays, people say that it's horrible, except for Halle Berry. She said that, hey, do you know how much money I made? That was
they
huge for
couldn't
me.
tell you how crappy it was because it had a black woman starring in it.
And then there's a brand new movie that's really pushing the envelope. Let me explain. See, this morning, I was driving to our massive 30-story Pope on Film studios, where each week we tape this podcast in front of a live, heavily drugged-up audience.
Yes.
And on my way to the studio, I happened to drive past one of our 3 shitty movie theaters. And I always like to look at the marquee, to check out what's playing, what's new, what's the haps in the world of motion pictures. I really like to pay attention to that marquee, too. I slow down my car, park in the middle of the street, cause accidents, many killed. And they're playing a movie there on the marquee that I hadn't heard of before, really pushing the envelope, and I'm excited to see it. It sounds pretty great. Let me explain it to you. It sounds wonderful. Okay, Eleanor's trying to escape. There you go. Gotta lock that door. The film is called Isle of Dogs Rampage.
Okay.
Now,
Sounds
this
good
is
so
what I
far.
believe. Yeah, this is what I believe the movie is about, okay? This is what I believe the plot to be of Isle of Dogs Rampage. It's basically Battle Royale, but there's an island, and on that island is every famous TV and movie dog, and they have to kill each other until only one dog remains.
Uh-huh. Okay.
This could very well be one of the greatest movies of all time, Isle of Dogs Rampage.
Oh, is Isle of Dogs any good?
I don't know, but Isle of Dogs Rampage, my Battle Royale type movie, is going to be huge. So it's a tiny island. Every famous dog is on that island, and they all have to kill each other until only one dog remains. Here's my list of all of the dogs that are going to be on this island.
Okay.
Snoopy.
Yes.
He's gonna do pretty good because he's street smart.
and he gets the early money. Yeah.
Yeah. Marmaduke. Let's not forget Marmaduke.
He's got size, he's got
Yeah,
size, but he's kind of dumb.
Yeah. Scooby and Scrappy, I think in the beginning they're both going to team up, but eventually Scooby's going to turn on Scrappy.
Yeah.
You just know that's going to happen. Muttley. Muttley.
He
Lassie.
He didn't do anything but laugh, so.
Yeah. So I don't think he's going to be that great. Lassie's got the speed, and I think that Lassie really could last until the end. But there's no way Lassie's winning because in order to win, you really got to be kind of cutthroat, and Lassie doesn't have that in him or her.
No killer instinct.
Yeah, Hachi, the sad dead dog.
Okay.
If you haven't seen the movie, then do yourself a favor and don't. Balto has got the stamina because Balto's going super far to get medicine for people. So Balto is definitely. Yeah, he's also half wolf. So Balto has the stamina, might last for a while.
Yeah.
Yes?
The two dogs from Homeward Bound. Where you going, Ellie? Chance and Shadow.
I didn't put any from Homeward Bound or Otis or Milo or anything from any of those. But that's a good idea. They might be in this too. Beethoven,
yeah.
Beethoven. Brian Griffin.
Okay.
Who might last like halfway. I don't think Brian Griffin is going to go all the way. Here's someone who has a chance to make it all the way. Mr. Peabody.
Ah.
This is a smart-ass dog.
Yeah, that's true.
And he built a time machine. So there's a good chance that Mr. Peabody's going all the way.
I would agree.
Cat dog, or at least one half of cat dog.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to last that long because the dog half of cat dog will be fighting, but the cat half of cat dog won't want to fight. So I think that cat dog might be taken out quickly. So Toto's like the popular one, but Toto's going down quick.
Yeah. So
is this next dog, Odie.
Odie doesn't
first.
stand a fucking chance.
Yeah, doesn't stand a fucking chance. Pluto and Goofy. I think these two are going to have a massive epic rivalry. Probably because Goofy is the Uncle Tom, and so Pluto goes nuts.
Yeah.
I
can see that.
Yeah. Blue from Blue's Clues.
Okay.
Possibly Blue and Blue's friend Magenta. Not entirely sure about that yet. Benji's getting knocked off pretty quick.
Uh-huh.
Spuds McKenzie. I think Spuds McKenzie would last longer than people would expect, but still, Spuds is going down. Here is an underdog that I think could take it all the way. Bimbo, Betty Boop's boyfriend.
Bimbo. Oh, yeah, he's one to watch.
Yeah. Because let's not forget, all the things he's already been through. Want to be a member?
Yeah.
No. So already, Bimbo has been through a lot.
Yeah.
So I think Bimbo, he's not the most popular person on the Isle of Dogs, but I think that Bimbo could go all the way. He's definitely an underdog. Speaking of underdogs, Underdog is also going to be on here, and he's one to watch because he has powers. Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Droopy, I think, could also go all the way because Droopy doesn't give a fuck because he has seasonal depression, and you put a knife in his hand, in his paw, and he'll go nuts on some motherfuckers.
I agree.
He is a nihilist.
He totally would.
Bad man. Yeah, he has no conscience.
No.
I'm already depressed. I'm going to kill Lassie. Gromit.
Okay.
Gromit. Yeah, Gromit is a smart, resourceful guy.
Could he bring himself to kill someone?
Yeah, I don't know if he can bring himself to kill someone. Here's one that I think, here's another underdog that I think might go far. Rolf the dog.
What about Clifford?
Let's not forget, Rolf got his start playing in like piano bars and shit.
Yeah. Jazz
You know?
clubs.
Yeah, jazz clubs. So he could go far. Here's another contender, because I'm not sure how you would kill this one. Frankenweenie.
Oh.
I don't know. How would you kill Frankenweenie? That's a difficult one.
Yeah.
Now here's one that will definitely be a crowd favorite. Clifford.
Everybody, yeah. He's got a nostalgia
Clifford the
benefit
big red
going
dog.
for him. Oh, Clifford. No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I totally jumped the rail and heard Heathcliff. I don't know why. That's a cat.
No, Clifford the big red dog. Here's the thing about Clifford the big red dog. Everyone will assume that Clifford's going to win, but if watching Royal Rumbles has taught me anything, it's that in the beginning of this thing, all the other dogs will automatically focus on the other bigger dogs, which means Clifford will probably get eliminated quick.
Uh-huh. You got a point. And that's experience.
Yeah, that's experience. That's what they used to do with Andre the Giant.
Yeah, you would have to get him out quick.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Uh-huh.
Hong Kong Phooey. The Bulldog from Tom and Jerry. Wishbone, the dog from Wishbone.
Okay.
He's gonna go far. Santa's Little Helper, the Simpsons dog. He's a scrappy one. Here's one of my favorites. Snowball, the smart semi-robotic dog from Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Snowball's going for.
Not familiar with that dog, so I can't set the odds.
Yeah. The Tramp, but not Lady. Just the Tramp. I think the Tramp will go far. He lives on the streets.
Yes, he does.
Now here's definitely, along with Odie, this next one is one of the first dogs that's going to go down. Doug, the dog who can talk from Up. That dog is going down. The talking dog from Up is going down pretty quickly. My name is Doug, and I love you. You have stabbed me. That dog is going down. No, Clifford's going to be one of the first to go down. Everyone's going to team up on him. Max, the Grinch's dog. Here's definitely the odds-on favorite, I think. Cujo.
Yeah.
That's huge. Cujo.
Sometimes a dog when it's really successful just gets cocky, and I think that's what that'll be Cujo's undoing.
Yeah, Cujo will be an odds-on favorite, and he'll get cocky. Everyone will expect him to win, but there's no way he's going all the way.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that this has potential, Bunny.
Oh, it totally has potential, yes. Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. Isle of Dogs Rampage. Super excited about it. I spent way too much time thinking about this over this week. Isle of Dogs Rampage. Super excited about this film. Bunny, 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 bunny.
Yes.
Bunny. It's time once again for us to shit on someone.
Okay, cool. Who are we shitting on?
Well, hold on. Let's do some background here. Our show has a history of shitting on various people.
Yes.
We shat on my brother Joe. We shat on Deanna for some reason that I don't remember.
Tim Curry.
Oh, Tim. Yes, because of Tim Curry. You didn't like Tim Curry in It. Yeah, that was justified. And we have shit on various celebrities. My favorite being Eminem because he is a garbage person.
Yes.
Fuck Eminem. It's like, oh, I think the reason why Eminem is still popular is because, like, oh, hey, this is the thing I liked as a child.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, well, guess what? Now you're an adult, and you should take a harder look at Eminem. He hates women. He hates gays. He's full of toxic masculinity. He wrote an entire song about killing his ex-wife. This is someone who should not be allowed to still be a celebrity. Fuck Eminem. And now, Bunny, you and I will once again be shitting on someone. Now, you don't know who I am going to mention.
Okay.
Right now. What I'm trying to say is you don't know who I've picked for us to shit on. You don't know who I'm about to say. You don't know what's coming up. But once I mention this person's name, it should not be a problem for you to shit on this person. This person is easy to hate and easy to shit on.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready, buddy?
Yes.
Okay. This week we will be shitting on the king of overrated movies, Mr. James Cameron.
Yeah, James Cameron, he started off with such promise, but then he's turned into a real dick. In particular, what pisses me off about James Cameron is his idea that you cannot be an environmentalist unless you're a vegan. Fuck you. Just fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I have some James Cameron news, and that news will make James Cameron a complete asshole. But just to be clear, the man is already such a loudmouth, dick, polarizing figure that even without the news I'm about to say, it still is pretty easy to shit on James fucking Cameron.
Yeah, I'm halfway there already.
Yeah. The man's a dick. He treats his actors like shit. He thinks the sun shines out of his fucking ass. And the fact that, and also there's the fact that right now he's working on Avatar 2 through 5.
Yeah.
Like, fuck James Cameron. So with all of that on deck, here's the news. So James Cameron was being interviewed by IndieWire recently, a few days ago, and in that interview, director James Cameron said, and I quote, "I'm hoping we're going to start getting Avengers fatigue. There are other stories to tell besides hypogonadal males without families doing death-defying things for 2 hours and wrecking cities in the progress."
Yeah.
Unquote.
We could be doing unpopular, expensive movies with blue people. Yeah, that's what we could be doing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, James Cameron is
Once again,
good, but he's not fucking great. You know?
Yeah. So I'm going to run through that again. I'm hoping we're going to start getting Avengers fatigue. There are other stories to tell besides hypogonadal males without families doing death-defying things for 2 hours and wrecking cities in the progress. Now, there's a lot to unpack there. First off, I don't think the man who wrote and directed Piranha Part 2, The Spawning, should be throwing fucking shade.
No, neither do I.
Yeah. See, in fact, James Cameron is such a dick that oftentimes in the past he has tried to say that his first film was The Terminator. No, fuck you. Don't you dare try and bury Piranha Part 2, The Spawning, where the piranhas are flying in the air. No.
And let's face facts, man. Terminator 2 is a B movie.
Yeah.
It's always been a B movie.
Yeah.
It's a schlocky, fun little movie. You're not a fucking genius, James Cameron. You're not a genius.
Yeah.
Go have a cup of coffee with M. Night Shyamalan and get back to us when your head is deflated.
Yeah. Secondly, he says there are other stories to tell. There are other stories to tell, says the man who is busy working on Avatar 2, Avatar 3, Avatar 4, and Avatar 5. Hey, James Cameron, there are other stories to tell besides Dances with Smurfs, you fucking jackass.
Yeah, and instead of shitting on other people's parades, how about you tell another story? How about that?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, you're not powerless here. You're a filmmaker. You can literally go and tell another story.
Yeah. Thirdly, hypogonadal. I had to look that up. Hypogonadal refers to diminished gonad function. Wow, Mr. Cameron, someone's still using their 2018 word a day calendar.
Had to find an intellectual sounding way to say that they're overcompensating for their small genitals.
Yeah.
Like, he's basically using elementary style comebacks.
Yeah.
Right? And insults, but in
in a
more adult language.
Yeah, so Shakespeareing it. Fourthly, Hawkeye has a wife and kids. Scott Lang has a niece that he takes care of. Peter Parker still lives with his aunt. There's families that exist in fucking comic books. Just because you can't think of any doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Fifthly, it seems that James Cameron has a history of hating big budget blockbusters that aren't his big budget blockbusters.
Yeah.
He said that Star Wars The Force Awakens, quote, lacked visual imagination. This coming from the guy who made blue aliens that fuck through their hair braids. He also called Wonder Woman, quote, a step backwards.
A step backwards, okay?
Yeah.
How did he
He
justify
also-
that?
He also hates the Alien franchise after him, saying he doesn't think the world needs more Alien films. He hated all the Terminator movies he didn't do. Basically, James Cameron hates any big film that is a success that he didn't have a hand in. I'm surprised that he allowed Get Out to happen without opening his big fat fucking mouth. I imagine that Get Out is super popular and he's in his mansion biting his knuckles, struggling not to say something racist, like Roger Rabbit with shave and a haircut. Just sitting there struggling not to say something racist. So fuck James Cameron. The man is a horrible douchebag. Fun story. James Cameron was married 3 times, and he's currently married to successful female director Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
And in 2010, they were both up for Best Director. She won, and then later that night after the Oscars, James Cameron was photographed playfully pretending to strangle her to death. Killing women is hilarious.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So fuck James Cameron. Fuck him hard.
Yeah.
That is a public service announcement from Reverend Steve and the Pope on Film podcast. Now, Bunny,
Yes.
we still have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about going home with a copy of the home game. We have to talk about an Elvis Presley movie that I don't think anybody saw. We need to talk about Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Susan Sontag and cocaine. We need to talk about India. We need to talk about the guillotine.
All right.
We need to talk about Fabio. We need to talk about 50 Shades of Grey. And I just want to say right now, I did not want to write that much, but oh my God, it poured out of me.
Yeah.
I have so much about 50 Shades of Grey, like a ridiculous amount on 50 Shades of Grey, more than I thought about fucking 50 Shades of Grey. So we have a lot to talk about. But before we get to any of that, what did you say, Jeannie?
Like 50 Shades of crap.
I see what's going on here. You're pretending to hate it to cover up the fact that you super loved it. It's okay. I've been there. It's all right. It's all right. Your secret's safe with me, wink, wink. So before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
I concur. We should take a break. We will be right back with more of the Pop on Film after these commercial mensajes. Maxwell was doing some freeform jazz
Yeah.
for us. Thank you, Maxwell.
Thank you for doing that.
The day of the Triffids, when terror rained from the sky. The day of the Triffids, when the Earth orbits into a nightmare. When the solid world of everyday reality disintegrates. The whole population is driven by fear towards insanity. The day of the Triffids, when destruction closes in from every side.
Pilot, is he blind too?
It's going to be starvation, fire, pestilence. Anyone caught in the middle of it doesn't stand a chance. I think we ought to get out of here and go on to Spain.
How can you know it's any better there?
I don't.
Doesn't seem to have any central nervous system.
Then how does it move?
All plants move. They don't usually pull themselves out of the ground and chase you.
You have never been married?
No.
Why?
Guess I've never been in one spot long enough to get caught.
And now you are saddled with a family.
It might have its points.
The day of the Triffids, when law and order are overwhelmed in an avalanche of terror.
And we're back with more of the Pope on film. Hey, Bunny, guess what?
What?
No, you have to actually guess.
When you were in school and you would reach under your desk and you would feel those bumps and you couldn't tell if it was gum or boogers.
Yeah.
Bumps under the desk.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We have received your final answers. Jeannie, your answer was 12.
12.
And Bunny, your final answer was bumps under the desk.
Yes.
So, let us see if one of your answers was correct. I am pretending to be a modern day game show host, meaning dramatic pauses.
Yes.
The answer was 12. Jeannie, you are
Yay!
Hey, congratulations. Everybody give Jeannie a hand.
Yay!
I would whistle if I could.
Johnny, Johnny, tell Jeannie what she has won today. Well, Jeannie, you are going home with a year's worth of all-new barbecue ranch-flavored Tide Pods.
Yummy!
A brand new Magnavox Laserdisc player.
Wow!
25 pounds of olives from Ronnie's Olives. A handful of napkins from the Arby's across the street. An autographed picture of Lindsey Buckingham. Gone with the Wind on Betamax.
Sweet.
A year's worth of stool softeners. A 2-year supply of all new stool hardeners.
Chirp, chirp.
Hey, you know, to even them out. You know, you take the both of them, and then you've got like, you take them both at the same time, and you've got the Battle of Naboo happening in your intestines. Eddie Brock's horrible accent from the new Venom trailer. 2 guys with handlebar mustaches, and, of course, a copy of The Home Game, the new book by John Grisham, a best-selling author who in 2014 came to the defense of men who are arrested for watching child porn. That's a true fact. You can bing it. Back to you, Steve. Well, thank you, Steve. And now that we've gotten that done and over with, it's homework time yet again on the old Pope on Film podcast. People of the internet, your attention, please. Cease your blogging and is it chocolating and kindly pay attention. There are these YouTube videos and they have 2 different wrenches and you got to see which one is a real wrench and which one is just made of chocolate.
Okay.
Bunch of videos and they're pretty good. Each week, the dreaded Council of Bunnies selects a homework assignment via the fiery ritual of carousel. And this week, we continue to watch old school B movies that are not strong enough, that are not big enough to carry an entire episode of the Pope on Film podcast on its own. So we're taking this little preemie and we're raising it to term right here in this segment. And this week, I am going completely blind, having never seen this 1963 technically Martian movie, The Day Mars Invaded Earth. Bunny, did you like this? And had you seen it before? Have you heard of it before? Have you anything?
I had not seen it before, which was kind of a surprise. Or maybe I have because I did get brief moments of like deja vu. I liked it in the context of the movie itself, like the time period and things like that. But other than that, kind of crap.
I had absolutely no prior knowledge of this film before this weird early 60s sci-fi film, before this episode of the Pope on Film. I was just on YouTube and I was looking for movies, preemie movies, for us to do for homework, and this one caught my eye. Usually I at least have a little bit of prior knowledge of a film when we do it, but not this time. I had never heard of it. I had no idea. One thing I will say that I really, really, really liked about the film is that if I squinted, Vincent Price starred in this film.
Oh, nice.
If I took my glasses off and I squinted, Vincent Price starred in The Day Mars Invaded Earth.
So you saw a much better movie than I did then.
Yeah, much better movie. This film, The Day Mars Invaded Earth, 1963, was actually a second feature and also featuring. It ran last in a double feature with, of all movies, the Elvis Presley film Kissing Cousins.
Okay.
How you doing? It's me, the king of rock and roll, Mr. Elvis Presley. Come see me in my brand new film where I try to fuck my relatives. It's hardcore incest, Memphis style.
Yeah.
That was back when that was okay to do, I guess. Elvis made so many movies, but like how many do people remember? I had never heard of Kissing Cousins before. And it's weird because I would imagine I would have seen this movie before because Elvis plays an Elvis type character and his hillbilly twin brother.
Oh. Okay.
So it's like a Donna Reed sort of situation.
Yeah.
This Elvis has only seen the sights, and Elvis can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! I liked the film. I guess for what it was, like you said, this film is like a really slow burn.
Yeah.
No, but I found it to be suspenseful in that you're not fully in on the plot or what's going on at all until like more than halfway through the film. At first, the plot just revolves around some scientist landing a rover on Mars. And so what with the film? The film is called The Day Mars Invaded Earth. So you're expecting hot alien action.
Yes. Yes. And instead, you just go all blurry.
Yeah, it's a switcheroo. The Day Mars Invaded Earth. Oh, this is going to be good. Oh, shit. No. This is a quiet, slow noir thriller.
Yes.
Wrapped in a family drama. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It surprises you. It sneaks up behind you. It crawls you. You know? That's what I liked about it. I said, oh, the day Mars invaded Earth. This will be amazing. And then you just get this, like, quiet little thriller. That was surprising to me. I was taken by surprise by this film, and that doesn't happen a lot.
No.
You know?
No.
But
it was very reminiscent of Invasion of the Body Snatchers as well.
Yeah. Some website I saw somewhere said Invasion of the Body Snatchers meets Invaders from Mars.
Yeah.
Is what
fair.
Yeah. But one thing you gotta love about this film, one thing you absolutely gotta love is the fact that this movie was filmed in Greystone Manor.
Oh.
What? Yeah, Greystone Manor, the mansion in Beverly Hills where they also filmed Dark Shadows, Rush Hour, The Big Lebowski, X-Men, and even Gilmore Girls. This mansion was Chilton.
Uh-huh.
They turned Greystone Manor into Chilton. It was also Professor X's mansion. It was the Dark Shadows. It was the rich place where the porn people were partying in the Big Lebowski. No, this was where the Big Lebowski lived. He lived in Greystone Manor. So yeah, super famous locale. Love that.
Yeah.
There was a ridiculous list of the things that were filmed in Greystone Manor. I just picked the ones that I was most excited about. I didn't know about Chilton.
No. But that is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. We are, for those of you who are listening to this for the first time, we are big Gilmore Girls fans here on the Pope on Film podcast.
Yes, we are.
Long-standing history with Gilmore Girls. So this was filmed The Day Mars Invaded Earth. This was filmed in 1963. So, help me out here, Bunny. Am I right in thinking this is all about dirty, evil, communist sons of bitches?
I would hazard a guess and say yes.
Okay. Because unlike most alien invasion films out there, oh, the aliens are coming, we must defeat them, and oh no, they're defeating us, we must come up with some strange way to defeat them at the last second. Now we are winning. But this film is about paranoia.
Yes.
This film is about paranoia and fear, and you can't trust yourself, and you can't trust the ones you love because the aliens look just like us, and they're hiding amongst us. It could be her, or it could be you. So, like, I wasn't sure I don't know. I'm not 100% on top of my history, but I was pretty sure that this whole film was just dirty red scum, that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
That was 63, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good. So the day Mars invaded Earth, I was looking for information about it, and oh my god, I find some information. Let's get intellectual as fuck all up in here.
All right.
We're gonna get seriously fucking intellectual, y'all. I'm a name drop a bomb ass bitch here. Susan motherfucking Sontag!
Yeah.
Susan Sontag wrote an essay in 1965 called The Imagination of Disaster. It was primarily about the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers and the fear of the invisible invader. And she praised this film, The Day Mars Invaded Earth. She praised this film and its ending. So, nice.
Nice.
You know? Noise. Noice. Noise.
Noise.
I liked this film. I thought it was a surprisingly good film. And it does things differently than other sci-fi films of its day, because other sci-fi films, you see the alien landing and lasers and shit.
Yeah.
And when I was a headliner in Paris, audiences always liked it when I sparkled. You know, like antenna and stuff like that. But this film is different.
Yes.
And then they kill off the boyfriend, and I was like, oh, hey, that's surprising. I wasn't expecting that. And then there's not a sappy ending at the last second. You know?
No.
That was also another positive. There's not a sappy ending at the last second to placate white American audiences. I quite enjoyed myself with this film for what it was, and I would recommend it. In fact, I recommend it so much that I'm trying not to reveal too much about the film's plot. I was quite surprised by where this film went.
Yes, and I think I can recommend it as well. We've seen worse. And we'll be getting to that later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One negative I will say about this that I found to be absolutely hilarious is that, let me explain to you what white privilege is.
Okay.
White privilege is a family that's trapped due to a malfunctioning security gate around their mansion. Oh no, we can't get out because our security gate is malfunctioning. Oh, fuck that. That's some serious white privilege shit there.
Yeah.
You know? Like, Jesus Christ.
Just keep her here and don't let her touch anything.
What did Eleanor get into?
Smell it.
How did she? You know what?
Oh,
go ahead and clean that up. Eleanor, come here. Eleanor has made a huge mess, and Natasha wants to keep the mess centered in a specific spot. So come here, No, don't touch that. Just stand over here. Come here. It's time for the Eleanor Show. No, don't climb on me. You're already getting so much of this stuff on me. Come here. It's time for the Eleanor Show. Eleanor, say hi. Eleanor, say hello to Bunny. It's Bunny.
Hi, Eleanor.
It's okay. Don't touch.
She's already touched so much.
Come here. It's okay. Sorry, y'all. Steve has this candle that he loves to smell. And apparently Eleanor decided she loves to smell like that candle. And since it's nice and warm, she decided to stick her fingers in it. Use it like lotion.
To be fair, though, I smell amazing right now.
Don't rub it on you. You get a waxy sheen. You know how hard it's going to be?
Yeah, Waxy Sheen. I'm the cousin of Charlie Sheen.
recognize Emilio Estevez as your kin?
Yeah, it's because he doesn't have the tiger blood that I do. I have tiger blood.
Oh, you mean the AIDS blood?
Tiger blood.
But do you have dragon energy?
No, dragon energy sounds like a 99-cent energy drink that you would find at a Dollar General in Tucson, Arizona.
Yes.
Okay, she's less greasy. That's good. A lot less greasy. Good. Good. And that is it for homework this week, and we sincerely hope that your eyes, minds, and legs have all been suitably opened by this homework. But don't think you're getting out of here that easily, Buck Chacho. Buck Chacho, a combination of Bucko and Muchacho, verbal copyright 2018, Reverend Steven, the Pope on Film podcast. All rights reserved. Don't forget next week's homework assignment. And for next week, we are once again taking a preemie movie and raising it to term right here on the homework assignment by watching what some consider, we're watching a B movie that some consider to be a pioneering, boundary-pushing work of 1970s sci-fi, and what others call a ridiculously stupid piece of shit.
Okay, good.
I am talking about, and I found a copy, and I'll punch it to you, the 1970 sci-fi film Equinox.
Equinox. Okay, I have seen Equinox before. This is going to be kind of tough.
I've seen Equinox a long time ago, but I don't remember a damn thing. So this will be fun. And I'm excited about this. I'm excited about Equinox. That is next week. Be sure and join us next week for more homework with the Pope on Film podcast.
What are you doing?
And cut on that. No, not cut and print, Maxwell. Just cut on that one segment. Yes, cut and print and put it on a cookie. What'd you say?
I said you can't take a break for once right now. I was taking a shit.
Okay, well, we're not taking a break yet.
Okay,
so
well,
that's
I was
good.
just letting you know.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I've got it here. I will send it to you after the podcast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a very special segment on the show. Bunny's Rants, or what did we decide to call this?
Grumpy Old Man.
Grumpy Old Man, Grumpy Old Man. It's time once again for another exciting, heartwarming installment of Grumpy Old Man. Bunny, take it away.
Okay. Well, I would like to take a look at some of our stats on SoundCloud and how the show itself is doing. We are getting some high views lately, hovering around 100, 200 listens a day for the past few days. I had heard from watching another show that they had registered their podcast with iHeartRadio, something I had never thought of. So I went and did it, and I just recently got an email saying, yeah, it's been accepted, all that. So I think that may be where those high hits are coming from.
Cool. I've been trying to share the podcast more, too, on my side.
Yeah.
Through various channels.
So for right now, our top 5 tracks are Beat Bugs, Jim Carrey,
which is weird,
Walk Hard, The Dewey Cox Story. Yeah, Jim Carrey's weird. How the fuck did that? 407.
No idea.
What? Yeah. MF Doom at number 4, and at number 5. Glitter Force.
Glitter Force. Yeah.
Glitter
huge Glitter Force fan base, really loving us.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah. Who would have known that? Who would have suspected that? I never would have.
Yeah.
But let's see here. So for our top listeners, and that's really what I wanted to do because I don't think these people are getting near the respect that they should. First, there is Steve Galindo. How did you listen to over 1,000?
I spend a lot of time clicking our SoundCloud page.
Yeah, okay. And then next, so you were number one with 1,313.
Yay!
And then in number two is Anissa L. Cohn with 119. So Anissa, come by, join the discussion group, like the Facebook page, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, because we love you and we want to see more of you.
Yay!
Possibly naked, but that is not a requirement whatsoever. Then in number 3, we have Kareem Kamal with 76.
Wow.
Kareem Kamal. Then in number 4, Lady Gendum, who is my friend Gail, who we have given the social media shout out to previously.
Yes, we have.
With 70 listens. And then Leo Gonzalez with 29, coming in the number 5 spot.
Yay!
And what this all really means is a lot of you other bitches really better start fucking listening. You know, you've got to get those numbers up there. And it's up to you. It's up to you. Okay? Top countries. Top countries and top cities are the two that I always find really pretty fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So our top countries, the United States at number 1 with 13,800. Coming in number 2 these days is Japan. With
maybe it's all the kaiju we've done.
It's possible. Well,
we've done a lot of kaiju.
We do a good amount of Japanese fare. With 1,122. The United Kingdom coming in 3 with 1,015. Australia with 925. And then France at 562.
The French love me.
We are big in France. Yeah.
Yeah, big in France.
And all the best people are. So that's a good thing. For top cities, Ashburn, Virginia has been a long-standing top city of ours at 4,000. Ashburn, Virginia.
Ooh.
So if you're in Ashburn, Virginia, thank you. At 4,473, Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Yay!
Do we know anybody in Shawnee?
I don't. I think the president.
Possibly. At 1,301. In number 3, Mountain View, California. At 1,148. Mountain View has been a long-standing supporter, whoever it is in Mountain View. They've been top city a few times, battling it out with Ashburn, although it looks like Ashburn's pulled way in the lead. Then number 4 is Tokyo with 911. And number 5 is Colorado Springs with 643, which I find kind of interesting because once I upload the shows, I don't listen to the shows, so that's not really me. So that's some other people in Colorado Springs who are listening.
Maybe it's all the religious people.
It's possible. It is very, very possible that it's all the religious people.
Yeah.
Those are the interesting stats. Any of the other stats are really kind of whatever. They're of interest. You know, like what's the most popular that came from a playlist, that kind of stuff. But something else that I had seen, now I forget the dude's name. Who played Joey on Friends?
Who played Joey on Friends? I can see his face. Matt
Yeah.
LeBlanc?
No, that was Chandler.
That was Chandler. Joey, he's now on this show that's supposed to be good. I have no idea.
Okay, well, it doesn't make a difference. You say Joey from Friends, anybody who has any kind of interest will know who that is.
That was Matt LeBlanc? Okay, I was right. He was in
Matthew Perry was Chandler.
Matthew Perry. Okay, yeah. No, Matt LeBlanc.
So I saw him in an interview recently this week of just some talk show. And what kind of struck me is he really looks to be like the Dean Martin of our age. There was a certain kind of suaveness to him and his ability to tell a story. He was very entertaining in that way. And something else that got mentioned somewhere George Hamilton was brought up. And he was also a very suave motherfucker.
Yeah.
Which made me realize that there is a very, very fine line between suave and fabulous. It's right there. So you have to be careful. I mean, Joey is right up on the edge there, but he's definitely still to the suave. George Hamilton always teetered on that brink.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was an observation that I had made this week that I thought was worth pointing out. I am currently animating Reggie's Boombox, so that's actually going to be like the first commercial released, because it's just simple. There's nothing going on. It's just going with the music. So that should be out in just a couple of days. Trying to get the subway station better and working on getting my characters into a different animating program to see if I can get more done with them. And that's really about all I have for this week.
Well, I feel that I've learned a lot. And I feel that everyone who has been listening to this, no doubt they are crying tears of joy. So thank you. I want to thank you for sharing.
Yes.
I want to thank you for sharing this part of your soul to us, Bunny. Thank you. Everybody give a hand for Bunny.
Are
welcome. Give a hand for Bunny. Yay! Join us next week for another pan-rattling episode of Grumpy Old Man.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Bunny!
Yes.
If you are like me, then I'm sorry about your intense paranoia and crippling self-doubt, but you're welcome for the penis. Anyway, if you are like me, and I know I am, then you, like me, are no doubt a lover of history.
Yes.
Because I'm a lover of history. I am a regular historicalarianite, which is a technical term that only us historicalarianites use. Mm-hmm. And this week, we will be taking a deep, deep dive into some archaic British history by discussing a little-known figure in British history called Baron Hunt of Fowley. We will be discussing his childhood, his life, his accomplishments, and cocaine.
Yes.
Just trust me on this. Now, I doubt you know who Baron Hunt of Fowley was. Hell, I doubt most fucking British people don't know who Baron Hunt of Fowley was. He died he died in 1987 at age 82. He's not a well-known figure, but I want to talk about this man. He was born John H. Hunt. He grew up to be a doctor, a general practitioner, and he co-founded in Britain the College of General Practitioners. And apparently it was such a successful college that 15 years later it evolved like a Pokemon with the Moonstone.
Oh.
The college evolved into the Royal College of General Practitioners. You know you're successful when like you open a coffee shop and then like 10 years later, you're the Royal Coffee Shop now. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, all right then. Cool. Do I get a sage? That would be my first question. Now, I love this story because this guy is so goddamn archaic and unknown that there's just no way people already know the story I'm about to tell.
Okay,
that's
cool.
That's why I'm excited about this week's story, because there's no way people know where I'm going to go with this. This isn't Gay Ken we're talking about this week, you know?
Yeah.
So Baron Hunt was born into a wealthy British family. He was born in India. And I just love India in terms of England. I just love that story. I just love the concept of it. I just love the idea of Britain colonizing India because it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look, I have discovered a new land. Meanwhile, the 1 billion people already there are like, no. I mean, technically we discovered it. We live here and have lived here for thousands of years. You can't just, I claim this land for the Queen. Okay, well, I guess we're all fucking British now, so that's fun. Well, if you'll excuse us, I'm going to do the same thing for 8 other countries. You know, what a dick move that is.
Yeah.
It's like Britain was playing a real-life game of Risk. Ooh, I'm going to take this country. I'm going to take this other country. Anybody claim this country? It's mine now. Anybody claim? Anybody call Falkland Islands? They're ours. I called it. Shotgun. So, Baron Hunt of Fowley.
Yes.
Fawley. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Baron Hunt of Fowley. There's a reason I want to talk about this guy, and we're almost there. But let's put the Baron on pause for now and instead move to cocaine!
Okay.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. So saith Rick James. It's a drug, and it's illegal. But way back in the day, cocaine was totally legal and was used all over the place. And sometimes I think about that, like, are there any drugs we use now that will be illegal 100 years from now? Like cocaine was, like all of these other drugs, you know?
You know what? There's psychologists who cocaine was always like, oh, it's the miracle drug medicine type shit.
Sigmund Freud loved it.
Yeah, oh god, he was a fucking crackhead.
Yeah.
Cokehead.
Yeah.
He sent it to his fiancée, like, as a cure for depression, and he didn't realize the ramifications of trying to prescribe this as a depression medication until he got one of his closest friends hooked on it, like, in a fatal manner.
In a fatal manner.
Yeah, in a fatal manner.
Like, he didn't realize that cocaine would kill his best friend.
Yeah.
Basically.
Also, Fatal Manor is one of my favorite Italian horror films.
Also, did I already tell you that sometimes cigar is not a cigar was never...
Yeah, he never said that?
Yeah.
Said that. Sigmund Freud said that cocaine cured depression and impotence. Thomas Edison also loved cocaine. The medical world used cocaine all the time. A lot of drugs were once used in hospitals, and that's why 9 out of 10 doctors use heroin. And of course, when you think of cocaine and the history of cocaine, you gotta. Cocaine was originally the main ingredient in Coca-Cola, and everybody knows that. But what people don't know is that Coca-Cola became so popular that other drinks followed suit. There was LSD Pepsi,
Yeah.
and then that was followed soon after with all new RC Cola with meth. So that brings us back to the Baron Hunt of Fowley, born in India, sent to England as a child, studied at Oxford, but as a child, he got diphtheria, which, as everyone knows, is when your dipth muscles get a severe case of theria.
Yes.
Argue with that, that's science. That's just science. So the young Baron needed his tonsils removed.
Okay.
And this is how they did it. This is how they did it back then. This is how they did it way back when. In fact, Baron Hunt of Fowley is considered to be one of the last recorded cases of this ever happening in England. They're not saying that he's the last person that they ever did this for, but this is the last case that they have records for this ever happening. So he was like the last one. Well, it's a simple procedure. The medical world is truly advanced here in 1910. Truly, truly advanced ahead of its time. So this is what we will be doing. We will be prying your son's mouth open and coating the inside of his mouth with cocaine. I'm going to run that by you again. We will be prying your 5-year-old son's mouth open and painting the inside of his mouth with cocaine.
But don't you understand? Cocaine was used as a topical anesthetic.
No, but here's the best part. Here's the best part. Not the cocaine part. That's not the main part. This is the best part. And when your son's mouth is nice and numb, we'll be slicing his tonsils off with a guillotine.
What?
Did he get a bit of guillotine?
Yeah. Yeah, they covered his mouth with cocaine and then sliced his tonsils off with a guillotine.
Do they not have tiny knives? What the fuck?
Will it hurt our son at all? Oh, hell yes. Oh, it'll hurt your son so much. There will just be so much blood. Like, I know it's 1910 and the movie The Shining hasn't been made yet, but medically speaking, your son's mouth will be the elevator from The Shining.
Nice.
Your son's just going to open his mouth and then just a torrent of blood. Medically speaking, your son's mouth will be the elevator from The Shining. Also, your son will be hopped up on cocaine hard too. When he comes to, he will look like a bad guy from Miami Vice. Again, it's 1910 and Miami Vice hasn't been invented yet, but your son will look like Miami Vice. He will have cocaine on his nose. He'll look like Scarface. Like a 5-year-old Scarface. Like chugging down juice boxes.
Yeah.
They're fucking bold, dude.
I love that story. I love that visual of this guy, and he was very successful. And oh yeah, when I was a kid, they chopped off my tonsils with a guillotine. That's amazing to me.
What year about was that?
Huh?
What year, give or take, was that?
It was when he was a child, and he died in 1987 at age 82. So it's a good, safe bet to say like 1910-ish.
For 1910-ish, I would have to approve the giving of cocaine because the
giving cocaine. Yeah, the giving cocaine part isn't the shocking part. I just want a visual of how they would do that with the guillotine.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't get how that works.
Yeah. I mean, it's only one sentence in the man's Wikipedia. I need more info.
Yeah. I mean, if you give me cocaine and then give me a severe cut, I'll be able to sew it up myself.
Yeah.
Because it's really effective for that.
The
You just put a
bear-
little cocaine in the cut. You know, cocaine, Novocaine. Same kind of thing.
Guillotine. Guillotine. Yes, let's continue our discussion of the Baron's charity work. Yeah, that's great and all, but can you go back to the whole tonsil and guillotine thing? Because I really need more information on that story. I noticed you only said one sentence about it. I need a lot more information.
Yeah.
We go back to guillotining a 5-year-old's mouth. Call me crazy, but I think that's something that we should focus on. And that is historically it for Steve's Historical Approximations this week, or SHAP, as I...
The last time the guillotine was used was the year you were born.
Oh, I think I knew that. I don't know when the last time was I knew it.
And it wasn't until this century that it was completely outlawed altogether. Like, the last place to be able to outlaw it, finally outlawed it.
Yeah.
Are you using a fresh bowl instead of rinsing the old bowl that you used in the first bowl of cereal?
And we here at the Pope on Film podcast hope that you all enjoyed getting your goddamn learn on. Next week, we will be getting personal on Steve's Historical Approximations with a touching story of a brave young boy who wasn't afraid to stand up for what's right.
Good.
Spoiler alert, it's me. It's me. So we still have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about bondage. We have to talk about erotic fan fiction.
Yeah.
We need to talk about fanfiction.net and animal noises. We need to talk about Alien 3-ways and Universal Studios rides. We need to talk about Mark Wahlberg and Hitler.
Okay.
My erotic fanfiction?
Yeah, probably. If you want to stick around for that. And we need to talk about Fabio and Chris Helmsworth without a shirt on. But before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
All right, I'll take your word for it. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. Do 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 do. Up 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 da 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 da. Ba do ba do wow.
As Bob got older, he was movies like Frankenstein, The Wolfman, Dracula, The Brain of Oros, that took Bob to that special place of dark fantasies.
You're gonna grow up to be twisted.
My mother used to say to me,
Right?
I do have a nickname for my penis. I call it the Octagon.
This is why I had to come down here this morning, man. This is why I had to miss my cartoons. You call me, you tell me it's important.
We're going home.
Take it, man, and quit leering at me. People are gonna think I just broke up with you.
Two fallen angels have just discovered a loophole that can get them back into heaven.
Outstanding work!
All they have to do is get to Red Bank, New Jersey. There's only one problem.
What are you? What do you want with
with me.
Stop a couple of angels from entering and thus negating all existence. I hate it when people need it spelled out for them.
Now,
I'm to charge you with a holy crusade.
one person has been chosen to stop them, but she won't have to do it alone.
I'm Jay. This is my hetero life mate, Silent Bob.
You gotta be kidding me.
Prophets, in a manner of speaking.
What about sex?
No sex.
Guys, I guess just don't follow the sky, you know? Oh, that sucks.
What are you?
I was the 13th apostle.
You knew Christ.
No. Brother owed me $12. I thought she looked familiar.
Let me guess. The 14th apostle.
Would like 2 tickets to New Jersey, please?
Jersey's sold out, sir. I suggest you not underestimate the staggering drawing power of the Garden State.
They're successful. You and me, all of this ends in a heartbeat. I feel like Han Solo, you're Chewie, and she's Ben Kenobi.
Prepare to taste God's wrath. Anyone who isn't dead or from another plane of existence would do well to cover their ears right about now.
The whole world's against us, dude. I swear to God.
What's he like?
God? It's got a great sense of humor. Take sex, for example.
Sex is a joke in heaven.
The way I understand it, it's mostly a joke down here, too.
Get it?
In the new millennium, vampires no longer fear the sun. Now they're going to learn. It's time to fear the Son of God! When the living dead outnumber the living, even the Messiah needs a little help. Phil Caracas is Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film. Act 3, people! Yes, we are finally here, Act 3 of the remarkably long Pope on Film podcast. But in our defense...
Hey.
Yeah?
If you have time during the fanfiction part, you can look up my fanfictions on AO3, because I have one where it's sex between Beetle and Monkey from Kubo and the Two Strings. It's sex
Kubo and the Two Strings erotic fanfiction. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Thank
they
you.
cry like 3 times during it because it's emotional.
Yeah. In our defense, this podcast is very long, but we use every second of this podcast.
Yes, we do.
Every second of this show is just full with entertainment and knowledge and learning. Not a second is spared.
We can come back after.
In fact, now that I think about it, it's actually kind of shocking that we have a podcast that is this long and we don't waste any time during it. When you really think about it, this is a long show and we don't waste any time. In fact, you know what? I think it might actually make me feel a little bit better if we waste a bit of time on the show. You know what I mean?
We could certainly do that.
Yeah, so you know what? Okay, so for the next few minutes, Bunny, let's just make some animal noises.
Okay.
I don't know what that was, but I bet it was some sort of animal.
Okay.
I'm Donald.
That was good. That was good.
I don't know.
You don't
I
have-
moved. I mean,
No.
that's about it. But that's good. Wait. I got a pigeon.
You got a pigeon? Hey, let me drive the bus. That's a pigeon. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's not good at
That's
all.
pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at you. I can try to do a squirrel, an angry squirrel, the squirrel that's not.
Oh yeah, an angry squirrel. That's good. That's good. Come come over here. Do an angry squirrel.
I can't. I'm suffering from performance anxiety.
Donald Duck? I can do the big fight.
Donald Duck. Okay.
Did you get
That's
Chewbacca?
that's Donald Duck masturbating.
Hey, destiny.
Animal noises.
You want
Thwomp, thwomp, thwomp. I used to try and trick Eleanor by teaching her wrong animal noises.
unhooked it instead of
No,
moving the
when
chair?
she was like 3 months old, 5 months old, I would teach her that, the cow goes moo and the dog goes woof and the chickens go kikity coo, flomp, flomp, flomp. So I used to teach her that's what the noise a chicken made. Let's make some other noises. What about car/vehicle noises? Honk, honk, honk. That's good, Maxwell.
That's a
pretty
boat.
good. That's a boat. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That was a semi.
That was a semi truck.
Hold on.
You can do a motorboat.
Hold on, I'm getting you.
That's pretty good, Maxwell. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What about here's a fun one. Washers and/or dryers.
Okay, here's our washer. No, you're supposed to do it so quiet they can't hear because it's really quiet.
It is really quiet. It is really quiet.
Meanwhile, our dryer's like, meh. Okay, it doesn't make that noise.
Sometimes it gets in that duggada mode. If you have like too much
That's a washing
in there.
machine, and that's top load. Ours doesn't do that anymore.
No, but sometimes the dryer gets into duggada mode.
Does it though?
Yeah. Duggada. Wow, you know what?
What?
This whole thing about making noises, about making animal noises, car, vehicle noises, washer and dryers, that was sexy as fuck.
Yes, it was.
Man, that was just pure sex. Not a dry seat in the house, especially, honey, when you started doing the semi-truck. I think there's not a dry seat in the house. Yeah, we're making the panties drop.
The house is full of women?
We are just studs on this podcast, Bunny. You and I, we're basically the Fabios of podcasting.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. I can't believe it's not butter. Spray. Because you couldn't say it. You couldn't say it all the way. And speaking of sex, this week's movie shouldn't exist. It's the 2015 erotic romance yawn 50 Shades of Grey.
Or as I like to call it, 50 Shades of Fuck You.
Bunny, why can't we sleep in the same bed?
I have no idea.
And
there was never a good explanation for that.
And I just want to give a shout out to my sister-in-law, Lauren, who saw all of these 50 Shades of Grey movies in the theaters. There's 3 of them.
Asked me to go to see the first one.
And so I want to give a shout out to Lauren, because I promised her I would this morning.
Shout out to my brother. Shout out to my brother.
You don't cousin Jaden, your cousin Jaden Maxwell.
Shout out to my cousin Jaden.
Okay, so there's a shout out to Lauren, and now
I would also just like to add, since she did see these all in the movies, Lauren, vibrators aren't that expensive, and you don't have to change the batteries too often in them. You really don't need to be watching things like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can if you want.
Maxwell, I love you, but maybe you shouldn't be chiming in during our discussion of 50 Shades of Grey. I'm just saying, maybe
Oh shit, it's my dish now.
you shouldn't. And now that I've done the shout out, Bunny, what would be the opposite of a shout out?
Whisper in?
The opposite of a shout out.
Like a
quiet.
like a whisper out?
Whisper in.
Possibly.
A whisper in?
It would have to have some kind of net negative effect.
Yeah.
Because a shout out is positive.
Well, I would like to give the opposite of a shout out to my wife, Natasha, who was dragged to go see this film on opening day to see this movie. And yet when I asked her to help me, she refused to help me. In fact, I asked her if she could, if I could tag her in at the end of our discussion of 50 Shades of Grey, and I still haven't gotten a confirmation on that because she does not want to discuss this film.
Neither do I.
Okay, look, you already know I can't keep my damn mouth shut.
Yeah.
Okay, and I got shit to say about this. I went off in my human sexuality class, and it was like the third day of our class. And I know the motherfuckers were like, this bitch is crazy. What the fuck is she talking about?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think we
can avoid it.
I think we will need an expert opinion. And that's you.
But look, I got homework, man.
Yeah.
I do. I have homework. I got one class left to turn into homework. And then next week's finals, and then I graduate on Friday.
And congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stop singing that song or I'm
Stop
going to
singing.
break your neck.
Stop singing Friday.
The different version.
No. Stop singing Friday. Stop singing It's Friday.
You're a Galindo. You're better than that.
On the podcast. Yeah. 50 Shades of Grey, the movie. This film should not exist at all. Now, let me explain why. The reason why the movie 50 Shades of Grey should not exist brings us back to a regular reoccurring segment on the show, the Mandela Effect in music history.
Yes.
One of my favorite reoccurring segments on the show. So here's the Maxwell, stop singing songs, copyrighted songs while I'm trying to do the podcast, okay? So here's a summation. Basically, we humans are constantly surrounded by an infinite number of alternate universes where an infinite number of possibilities occur, but we humans in this reality cannot see the infinity that surrounds us constantly because we are locked in our own set of probabilities, our own universe. No one has the kind of access to go to see the infinity that surrounds us. We're not Rick and Morty. So the theory known as the Mandela Effect states that some people in this universe didn't originate in this universe, and they in fact came here from an alternate universe, and they are universe adjacent. They came from another universe, possibly one where the Berenstain Bears is spelled differently, and one where the popular band Soundgarden did not release a song about spoons that features an honest-to-God spoon solo!
Yes.
So, the Mandela Effect in musical history, the segment in our podcast, suggests that the best way to see the Mandela Effect in action is via popular music. The greatest rapper alive had a hit song that sampled the musical Annie, and no one batted an eye, Bunny.
Yes. It was shocking.
So, I honestly insist. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I honestly and sincerely believe that this week's movie, 50 Shades of Grey, is once again a prime example of the Mandela Effect. Mandela Effect in popular motion pictures. Because this movie, and especially the series of books, should not exist.
I agree.
They should not have been written. They should not be popular. They shouldn't have been turned into a movie that made a ridiculous amount at the box office. Let me try and explain to you why this bizarre series of improbabilities should not have happened. So, I've got 2 words for you, buddy.
Okay.
2 words. It's going to seem like maybe 4 words, but it's 2 words. I've got 2 words for you, buddy.
All right.
Snow Queen's Ice Dragon.
Okay.
Those are 2 words.
I had that as a
Snow
child.
Queens, that's all. What did you say? I'm sorry, you cut out a second there.
I said I had that as a child.
Let me walk you through this. Snow Queens, that's all one word. SNOWQUEEN''S, all one word. That's the first word there, stupidly. So, Snow Queens, one word. Ice Dragon, again, one stupid word. In fact, the whole freaking name sounds ridiculously stupid. So stupid that I really want to focus on the idiocy of this name. Snow Queen's Ice Dragon.
Yes.
Snow Queen's Ice Dragon. That's the name of a woman with no prior writing experience. On fanfiction.net, the website where anyone can write their own fan fiction and upload it for other people to read. In 2008, Snow Queen's Ice Dragon saw the movie Twilight and fell in love with it like so many women back then that are now ashamed of their time being obsessed with Twilight.
Yes.
I'm not pointing any fingers to anyone in this house. I might be occasionally taking side-eyed glances at someone in the kitchen who, I'm not going to say.
Look, I enjoyed the books. I was young and I was stupid. And I didn't like the movies because they got so much wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Okay. I wasn't mentioning your name. I, for all they know, I could have been talking about Eleanor. Just saying.
Max.
Yeah. So, Snow Queen's Ice Dragon bought the Twilight books, loved them.
Yes.
Then Snow Queen's Ice Dragon, who again had never written anything before, is not a writer, has never studied writing, had never taken a class in writing. Someone with no prior experience whatsoever. She said, I'm going to start writing erotic fan fiction for Twilight. So she started writing fan fiction. To be fair, no prior writing experience. My wife is more of a goddamn writer than Snow Queen Ice Dragon.
Yes.
My wife has more writing experience than Snow Queen's Ice Dragon. My wife has more writing ability. My wife is a better writer than Snow Queen's Ice Dragon. And again, this is the first book she's ever written ever in her life.
Yeah.
Her erotic fan fiction is called Masters of the Universe, and it was so dirty, so ridiculously dirty, so graphically dirty that it was pulled from fanfiction.net.
Okay.
So Snow Queen's Ice Dragon said, yeah. How dirty and also how bad do you have to be to have your work removed from fanfiction.net? So she set up her own website for it and sold it as a Kindle book. And it took off. For some reason, this frickin' book took off. It got so popular, in fact, that the actual Twilight people came a-knocking. They sold so many copies. Eleanor, stop it. Stop spilling your drink. Don't spill it. I will take it away from you. Okay? Don't test me. the Master of the Universe erotic Twilight books became so popular that the actual Twilight people came a knocking and said, yeah, no, shut it down. So this inexperienced author got her NC-17 rated teen vampire smut and said, okay, I'm going to remove the vampirism. I'm going to change the names, the settings, make them older. And yeah, I'm going to call it 50 Shades of Grey. And that is how the book 50 Shades of Grey came about. This whole series was literally, originally, dirty Twilight fan fiction. How did this then become popular? Why did this become popular? How was this a massive best-selling series of books? The answer is obvious. The Mandela effect.
Yes.
We live in a bizarre universe where some weird shit is happening. You know?
Yes, we do.
We're in this bizarre universe where the biggest rapper in America just samples Annie and everybody's okay with that. Where one half of the band ABBA writes a musical about the game of chess.
Yeah.
And that musical has a hit song.
That's a great song.
We live in a universe where Donald Trump is fricking president.
What the fuck?
Where is your fork?
And where some
Are you done?
woman with no writing experience just quickly taps out some smut for a website and it becomes one of the best-selling books in America. This is not my universe.
Yeah, I totally understand. This is not my universe either. Not at all.
Yeah. This book should not have been written. It makes no sense whatsoever. Absolutely no sense that this stupid thing became popular.
And I kind of love the idea that somebody ripped off already mediocre work to make mediocre work.
Yeah, it's like when you take a copy of something that's already been copied.
Yeah, exactly.
It's when you try and photocopy something that's already been photocopied.
Mm-hmm.
That's 50 Shades of Grey. It's ridiculous.
It's fucking weird.
So this 2015 shitty-ass movie is based on a shitty-ass book series that just gets the shitty-ass Twilight books and makes them more unreadable.
Yes. That's it in a nutshell.
Inexperienced author Dragon Queen's Icy Butt, whatever, really likes using the phrase holy crap a lot, which just goes to show what little acting talent she has. Side note, Eleanor, in the beginning of this podcast, was playing with a toy.
Who is raising a barn
music
in the background? Who is raising a barn?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain it. Eleanor, in the beginning of this podcast, was playing with a really loud toy that played music and sang. And so I during the first break, I took it away from her and tried to give her something that I thought was quiet. And that's just this giant crayon. And so now she's getting this giant crayon and smashing it on the floor hard while chanting something. I don't know what she's chanting. Probably something satanic. I'm going to kill everyone. Satan is good. Satan is our pal. She's chanting. You're chanting, Ray. That was a Burbs reference because I'm on another level. This isn't the level. The next level's the level.
Oh, nada.
Interesting side note, Twilight author Stephanie Meyer. Is it Meyer or Myers?
Myers? I don't know.
It's. I think it's Stephanie Meyer, but I want to say Stephanie Myers like Liam Neeson's. So I'm just.
You want to say that because it makes more sense.
Yeah, so Stephanie Myers followed up her teen Mormon vampire series with a book called The Host.
Yes.
And it's a book about a person who's sharing his mind with an alien, and then they both fall in love with the same human woman. So what I'm saying is, don't be surprised if
Other way around.
the woman falls in love with someone who has two.
The woman's the one with the host inside of her.
Okay, the woman's the one with the host inside of her. Anyway, don't be surprised if Snow Princess Firequeef's next book is called Holy Crap, an Alien Three-Way.
Yeah.
This is my totally new original book.
Okay, look. Regarding the host, it wasn't terrible. It could have been.
Yeah.
It could have been better written. Like, well, no, it could have been edited better, I think. And I am a sucker for the 2-person 3-way love triangle thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
That trope is great if it's done correctly. This one was done decently and with a decent plot to it. However, I still have yet to watch the movie because how in the fuck are you supposed to do a movie about a 2-person 3-way love triangle when one of the people exists in the head and literally more than half of the book happens inside that person's head?
Yeah, I don't see how
Like,
that's...
there's no way that was done in any coherent manner.
It has been done coherently once. The film is called All of Me, and it stars Steve Martin and Lily Tomlin, and it's wonderful. Lily Tomlin controls one half of Steve Martin's body. Love that movie. Steve Martin is amazing. So that was a side note. Double side note, Stephanie Meyers totally screwed over her fan base with the host. Because she said, okay, if you all love Twilight, get ready for my exciting new series. It's called The Host. Here's the first book. This is the first of 3 books, maybe the first of 4 books, maybe the first of 5 books. Get ready to buy all the books in The Host. Oh, wait, it didn't sell that great? Well, fuck that series. Here's my new book. It's called The Chemist. And she totally abandoned the Host series that she promised. So a bunch of people are like, oh, this book is great. I can't wait for the second one. Oh, you're not writing the second one? Oh, well, fuck you then. So she basically screwed over all of the people who were still fans of her.
Good.
So The Chemist came out. So then her next book came out, The Chemist, and people were like, Stephanie Meyer, you're still a thing? No, you burned me on The Host. No, I'm not buying this. So her last book was a big flop. So yay!
Yay! I got to give that a yay because she shouldn't be writing books at all.
Yeah,
ever.
So to make a long story longer, 50 Shades of Grey, the book, should never have been written. Then it should never have gotten popular. The popularity of the 50 Shades of Grey book series makes no sense to me, except Mandela Effect. So it should never have been written. It should never... Eleanor, seriously?
What happened?
I tried to get her the quietest thing in the world, and she's struggling to find ways to be loud with a giant crayon. It should never have been written, and then it should never have gone popular. So this badly written Edward Cullen fanfic was published, and it got big. So big, in fact, that studios started fighting over the rights for it.
Which in itself is both sad and fucking tragic, really.
Yeah. Eventually, Universal Studios buys the rights to it. So, Bunny, so here's the big question for you, okay?
Yeah.
This summer, Universal Studios presents 50 Shades: The Ride, a thrill-packed 4D experience. What would that ride be, Bunny? What would 50 Shades: The Ride be?
Well, I'm thinking it's a water slide to begin with.
No. I want movie.
And as you're going through the tube, you are whipped as you're going through the tube. But the best part, okay, when you come out of the other end of the tube and you're gonna splash into the water, you literally hover over the water because you're not allowed to touch the water without permission.
What happened?
Here.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Hello, I'm Christian Grey. Well, I'm Anastasia Steele. Wow, that sounds ridiculously made up. No one is named Anastasia Steele. Who wrote this shit? That's a horrible fucking name. That's the opening scene.
Yeah.
It's the opening scene of the movie. Anyway, one of the studios that was fighting for the rights to 50 Shades of Grey was Mark Wahlberg's film studio.
Yeah.
And God, I wish he would have gotten the rights, because then there would have been a chance that he starred in it.
Mm-hmm.
You really would have dug that. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how's it going, buddy? My name's Christian Grey. What's going on, bro? Hey, do you want me to tie you up? Maybe fuck you? We can totally do that, bro. I'm serious about this.
Say hello to your mother for me.
Say hello to your mother for me. So, your name's Anastasia. Well, I produced Entourage. I would have been down with that. That would have been a better movie, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The studio... What?
I just want to... I really adore the chick that they got to play her, though. She's aesthetically pleasing to me.
Yes, but I really felt that they hired Dakota Johnson. They hired Dakota Johnson to be the female star of this movie, and then she said, "Okay, now let me see if I can out-mope Kristen Stewart."
Yes, she did.
I'm not talking about... No, I'm not talking about you. You misinterpret me.
And basically, they had like a mope off.
You misinterpret me. I'm not talking about her acting in any way possible. I'm just talking about her aesthetic look. Like, she's pretty to me. And I'm not talking about in the movie. I'm talking about the pictures that I looked up afterwards.
Okay.
Like, she's pretty.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah.
Visually. I know nothing of her outside of this movie. I've never seen her in anything else. I know nothing of her character. But, like, I'll look at her and think she's pretty. So she's got that going for her.
Yeah. Eleanor, why do you keep trying to take over my podcast?
Because Maxwell does it.
Because Maxwell does it. Bella does it. Yeah.
Segment.
Eleanor, you're not getting a segment
Not
on
yet.
the podcast.
She's like, I already got a segment.
Yeah.
Hi, Eleanor.
Oh, yeah. Say hi, Bunny. He can't see your wave. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
They love you.
Oh.
You tried.
You kind of tried. You kind of just said woo. Yeah, now you're just Ric Flairing it. Say woo.
Woo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Give me some dramatic music, Eleanor. Da da da. That was good. That was good. Yeah. So the studio. Thank you. The studio originally wanted Ryan Gosling to star in it, but he said no because he didn't want to be in this piece of shit. But also, I imagine the studio went to Ryan Gosling and said, "We want you to star in 50 Shades of Grey," and Ryan Gosling said, "Ooh, you want me to star in a film? Well, I have some questions for you then. Question number 1. Will there be jazz in this film?
It's an important question.
Follow-up question, can I save the jazz? That's what I want to do now. I just want to save jazz from the evil blacks.
Oh my god.
And that's how we got La La Land.
That is how we got La La Land, and I'm still angry with him about that.
Yeah. So there's a lot that I hate about this movie. It's badly written. It's way too long. 50 Shades of Grey does not need to be over 2 hours long, for shit's sake.
God, no.
This isn't 50 Shades Infinity War. Okay? Yeah. Jesus Christ, you need to calm your ass down. Fuck. And of course, there's the mope off.
Uh-huh.
And And also, one thing that I hate about this film is the fact that Christian Grey is essentially Batman.
Yeah.
You like to be a dominant and tie women up. Why do you like doing that? Because something bad happened to me when I was 6 years old. And I've never gotten over it. It's like shit. You and fucking Bruce Wayne. You know what? Instead of tying women up in a pleasure dungeon, here's an idea. Why don't you just take some pills and have a hot bath?
Yeah.
Or just go to fucking therapy. I'm checking the baby sister.
What's she?
Ellie.
Like, you just need to calm your ass down. Just
Hold on. So okay.
go to therapy for shit's sake. Yes, this was a scene in the movie that you saw in theaters.
His mom's friend. Okay. Okay, what is it like?
His
16,
mom was like
right?
a drug addict or something, and so
Yeah, and his dad beat his mom, and then his mom's friend
Get out!
made him a sub and introduced him to it.
Okay, see, now it's slowly coming back to me because
I think some of that is from the second movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but most of it is like the mom was a drug addict, the dad like left him, and yes, his tortured past.
It was bullshit.
His tortured past. He was hit, and now he's like taking his anger out on women
because he sucks.
Shit, this adds an entire new layer to my rant.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Christ.
It's the idea of like, oh, hey, if you're into bondage, that's because something bad happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up and stupid.
Yeah, not only that, but man, and you know, a lot of people think like that.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about rape and shit like that in our human sexuality course. Stop it. And then I was like, oh, so we're gonna be skipping this chapter, and it was all about like, take that from her. It was all about, you know, like voyeurism and BDSM and all that shit. And I was like, we're skipping this? But I have so much to say about it. And she was like, yeah, well, I mean, the stuff that we just discussed probably lends a lot to that. And I'm like, you're a fucking college professor. You have a degree in psychology. How the fuck are you going to say something like that?
Yeah.
Because
what did
that's
she
not
say?
necessarily true. People, huh?
What did she say?
What was that?
What did she
basically implied that like sexual assault and stuff like that leads to or is a product of like people who are into BDSM, voyeurism, masochism, shit like that. She didn't say it outright, but that was what she was implying to me. And I'm like,
I would go with what you have already taught me through the course of these shows, is that just because you have a kink does not necessarily mean that you are going to act on that.
That's also true. But I mean, and BDSM, just because...
Yeah, just because you have a kink doesn't mean you're going to act on it. Like me, my biggest sexual fantasy is to have sex with a dead whale, but you don't see me going to SeaWorld with some dynamite.
Okay.
Stop. Then why aren't you allowed at SeaWorld anymore? Explain that. Why are you not allowed at SeaWorld anymore, Steve? Huh? You want to explain that?
Go ahead, keep going. I gotta.
What? Okay, so Natasha will be back later.
Okay.
You can tell I don't know as much about this movie as I thought I did because I zoned out through a lot of it. I was dragged to something I didn't want to see in the first place. Everybody kept telling me, "Oh, you should read the books, Natasha. You'll like them." And I'm like, "No, I won't. I know I won't like these books, but I'm not gonna fucking read them." And then I saw this movie and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" The entire time I was just like, "No, that's not how." Oh my fucking god, are you serious? And Lauren's like, "Shut up, Natasha. Just enjoy the movie." I was like, "How am I supposed to enjoy this piece of shit?"
It's funny because she forced you to see 50 Shades of Grey the same way you forced me to see Twilight. It's the circle of life is what it is.
You didn't have to. I didn't force you into shit. You
Okay.
didn't have to go with me.
No, exactly. So.
I had Lauren. I had to weigh in. They were willing participants.
Okay. So this movie is shit, but again, it should never have been made, and this is why. This book is crap. Really crap. Real crap. Badly written piece of shit. But it's popular, And so suddenly Sony and Warner Brothers and Universal are fighting for the rights. Universal wins, and this is what they did, and this is dangerous. This is dangerous. They get this shitty piece of shit, and they polish it, and they shine it up real good. And by the time they release the film, it looks great. The set design looks good, color design, the costuming, the soundtrack is great, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
You don't get Mein Kampf and turn it into a movie with a shirtless Chris Hemsworth and a sweaty Chris Pratt, because then people would be like, oh, hey, that movie looks good. Maybe we should check out this whole Mein Kampf thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I like the analogy.
But I love it because a good movie can legitimize a bad fucking book. Because this is a horrible book, but suddenly you're putting $50 million into a nice, good-looking movie, and that legitimized this shitty book that should never have been written.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was a pretty shitty-looking movie, too.
You know? This movie is
shitty looking?
Yeah, I didn't think it was all that great. No.
Okay, and
I was not impressed.
But Mein Kampf is that
I don't think they can hear you. Especially with Eleanor moving tables around.
What I'm saying is that you're saying, okay, you put glitz and glamour behind it because it's a fucking $50 million movie and it looks good, even though it's a shitty book, it legitimizes the book, which would therefore, you would think, legitimize the message in the book. So using Mein Kampf as an example might sound good in theory, but like, there's a difference between Hitler writing Mein Kampf and wanting to wipe the world of every Jew in existence and a bad BDSM practice, which doesn't hurt people if it's consensual and sane.
I was just trying to think of a funny analogy.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to ruin it with...
It's okay.
I'm very touchy
analogy,
about
please.
this fucking movie and book.
Gotcha. It's just that this movie makes a series of shitty books look respectable and serious and a work of a professional.
Yes.
And not the work of a talentless hack who got remarkably lucky. This first film made $571 million at the fucking box office. It made over $500 million. And it only cost $40 million to make. This film was a ridiculous fucking hit.
You want to know why? Because there are a lot of horny women out there. That's why.
Yeah, you know,
and it was like, how should I put this? Like, it's like respectable porn, acceptable porn.
Yeah.
Even though it was soft porn. It's still...
Yeah, I had a problem when I worked at the bookstore. I had a problem when I worked at the bookstore because there would be women who I would work with, and they would be like, "Oh my God, book 5 came out. Book 5 came out of the Twisted Affair series. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that this book came out." And then later, I'm shelving books in the romance section, and I go, "Oh, hey, it's the Twisted Affair series. Let me flip through this. Oh my God, this is graphic. This is insanely graphic. You know what this is? This is fucking porn.
It is.
It's porn with words. And it's upsetting to me that this is porn written out, and that's socially acceptable.
Exactly.
It's socially acceptable for someone that I work with to get excited and go, "Oh my God, my porn is in. I'm so excited. My porn is in." I can't do that.
My co-teacher read the 50 Shades of Grey in the staff lounge on her work break at a preschool. How about that?
Hold on, you were cutting out. What did you say, Jeannie?
That my coworker, a coworker, was reading the 50 Shades of Grey series on her break in the staff room at a preschool.
Wow.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And excited about it and going, yeah. Ooh, she couldn't wait to have her break so she could go read it. Really? Okay, I used to read Harlequin romances. Yeah, not the same thing.
Yeah.
For a while, I
Well,
was
it
getting
kind of was.
stripped copies of a romance series for Natasha, and they were professional wrestling romance novels.
Oh, they were so good.
And it was like
Okay,
in
why
my
were
heart,
they good?
the
And
mat and shit like that.
oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. It was so fun to read those though.
a submission match of love and shit like that. This a steel cage around my heart, like really ridiculous shit. And then they stopped making them, and I got really upset. But then I got excited, and I'm like, "Honey, remember those professional wrestling romance novels? Now hear me out. Harlequin has teamed up with NASCAR, and Natasha's like, no. Well, maybe one or two. and yeah, NASCAR romance novels.
I read them, and I mean, they weren't that bad for trashy romance novels. And I learned a lot of things about NASCAR. I was like,
yeah, and then,
really, this is
okay,
a
but
thing?
I don't want to know things about
and then
NASCAR.
the woman who wrote the professional wrestling romance series would like go to indie wrestling matches and learn the ins and outs and shit. She would learn all the
there was
lingo
a lot
and
of shit in those books that like a normal person who doesn't watch wrestling would never know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been immersed in wrestling because of Steve, and my grandpa took me to wrestling matches and shit. So I know some of it, but like this woman got into some of shit that's like nobody who's picking up those books and doesn't watch wrestling wouldn't understand.
Yeah. She's talking about kayfabes and marks and shit like that, and it's like, oh wow, no, you did your homework.
I appreciated that because I was like, because she was talking about breaking kayfabe, and I'm like, you fucking know, good on you.
Yeah,
good on you.
Yeah.
It's hot. Why did I close that
And
door?
just to be clear, I have already gone on and on about this fucking 50 Shades of Grey movie.
Yes.
A lot longer than I thought I would. And I haven't even gotten to the fucking bondage.
And longer than it deserves, frankly.
Yeah, no, way longer than this film deserves. Now, I'm not the best person in the world to talk about BDSM, and I'm gonna have a slight aside here. I was gonna have true story time and talk about something that happened once, but do you think I should not talk about that something that happened
I don't
once?
know.
Or
It depends on what you were going to talk about.
it was like,
Oh, I mean, that's up to you. That's
Okay.
pretty like behind the scenes personal shit though.
yeah, but also it's like my podcast, and at the end of the 50 Shades of Grey episode, I'm not sure if it's. I mean, we're big in Japan. A lot of Japanese people will know about this, and I'm fine with it. Konnichiwa for everybody listening. What?
Nothing.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm huge. This podcast is huge in Japan.
Yes, we are huge in Japan.
I mean, it's your call, but I mean, I do appreciate you actually asking me for once about something that involves me.
A long time ago, when Natasha and I were just starting out and dating, Natasha is a bit more
liberal,
knowledgeable, yeah, and I'm more of a straight-laced conservative. So, when we first started dating, we decided to have a night of bondage experimentation.
Yes.
Which so she had ropes and straps and all of the props.
Yeah.
And I'd say about 20 minutes in, I was in tears. I am not about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently it's something I was triggered. And this was pre-robbery, but even pre-robbery, apparently you shouldn't tie me down and blindfold me. I don't know what has happened in my life. But
What are you repressing, Steve?
I don't know what I'm repressing. There was one time where my dad taught me how to sunbathe, but I don't remember all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, but whatever happened to me, and also just my parents are assholes, but pretty sure one time they... Okay. So yeah. So I'm not the right person to talk about what's wrong with this movie's skewed version of bondage.
Yeah.
So I just tagged Natasha in. Natasha, take it home.
I'm sorry, what?
What's wrong with this movie's version of bondage and discipline and dominant and submissive? And I know that their version of this is totally effing wrong, but I can't talk about the specifics.
So much is wrong with this. There's just so much wrong. I mean, BDSM practices, it's safe, sane, and consensual. I have a hard time seeing all three of those active in this particular film because I never read the books. I did watch a YouTube video, though, of gay men reading 50 Shades of Grey, and that was hilarious. I really highly recommend finding that and watching it. First of all, this movie is basically like, okay, we're going to use this cover of a domination submission relationship to cover up the fact that it is so abusive. Such an abusive relationship. He is got power issues, and let's face it, a lot of people in BDSM do have power issues, but it's a matter about how you go about it. I mean, this motherfucker's stalking her, for shit's sake. I do remember a part in the film where it was like, he bought her a car or something without even talking to her about it.
And then sold her old car.
And so, sold her old car. Like
what the fuck?
That is, you're trying to take control of her life and do things without even consulting her. That is not consensual in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. And if you're going to have a domination submission relationship, if it's going to be in the bedroom, keep it in the bedroom, unless otherwise agreed upon. You don't take control of something. And sure, there are relationships that are 24/7, live in, like dom sub, but those are like super extreme and very rare. So and the whole contract thing that happened, right, in the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not imagining that. It's been a long time, and I kind of zoned out through a lot of it.
I saw it twice, for shit's sake.
That contract thing, like that, obviously, that's not a thing. That doesn't happen. It does, but again, that's more along the lines of really hardcore lifestyle, 24/7 type relationships, power dynamics. And I don't like the fact that they give him so much control, because in a true dom sub relationship, it's the submissive that has the majority of the control, because what they say goes.
Yeah.
If they don't agree with something, the dominant won't do it. That's part of the sane and consensual part. You don't cross those lines. Everybody has their limits. And like, you take a virgin, apparently she's a virgin, like, how many fucking genres and tropes are you trying to fit in this thing?
Yeah.
But you take a virgin and you don't educate her at all on any of this stuff, and you just jump into it. That's not sane. That's not safe. Just even if it is consensual, which I just don't really feel like it was. I felt like she was obsessed with him, just a little bit, like that like, oh my God, he's so hot, and he's a man in a powerful position, and she is not a woman in a powerful position, so they're already starting off uneven.
He's taking advantage of
his position above her, literally and figuratively, and he's coercing her basically into this.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell her anything about this. He's using his past abuse to continue the abuse cycle by abusing somebody else and making it seem like it's her choice.
And the real problem with this movie is that this movie and book, this whole series, was super popular with repressed housewives and stay-at-home moms and women who had no knowledge of the bondage lifestyle, who are reading this book and then going, oh, this is what bondage is. But this isn't bondage. This is just an abusive relationship and a creepy guy.
And that's the problem with it too, is that it's a very abusive and power imbalanced relationship. A lot of women who have no prior knowledge, they're reading this, they're watching this movie, they're getting off on it, which, you know what, it's fine, but educate yourself. They're not going and educating themselves, and they're getting themselves into these situations where they're honestly going to get hurt. And I remember hearing reports about how, yeah, BDSM has become mainstream, and so now you can do this and you can try it home and blah, blah, blah. But also I heard reports about how there were more women and men who were harmed.
Yeah.
Like, in a relationship like this, if you're into pain, you can hurt somebody. That's fine. I'm going to hurt you in a good way. I'm not going to harm you. There's a difference between hurting somebody and harming somebody. And because these people have no prior knowledge to this community at all, and they don't bother educating themselves, they get harmed. They can get seriously harmed.
Yeah.
In ways that not only can sometimes cause death or, you know, things that cannot be taken back.
Irreparable damage.
Yeah, but that's psychological damage as well, because there's so much psychological aspect to domination and submission. It's not just, oh, let's get kinky in the bedroom and try handcuffs. That's pretty fucking vanilla. You know, everybody's tried a little bit of bondage, like, oh, let me hold your wrists while I fuck you from behind, some shit, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty vanilla, but that's the extent of their kink knowledge. So when you get into whips and you get into flogging and you get into some serious type bondage, collars and like playing around like that, it's just educate yourself. You have to educate yourself. And the author clearly only knew what she had read from fan fiction before.
Yeah.
I write and read fan fiction. I can spot somebody who's never been in lifestyle from a mile away. And I'm like, I can't read this. It's shit. But people who are knowledgeable, they write it well. They make sure to add, like, you know, she tried to say, oh, no, look, I'm being safe, sane, and consensual. I'm going to have them sign a contract.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yep.
There is usually always supposed to be some sort of negotiation. You're supposed to find out what you like, what you don't like, what lines you want to push, what lines you don't want to push or cross at all, you know, what you really like, what really gets you going, and then go from there. But you don't just sign a fucking contract right off the bat, like, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And also, like, I know she's a virgin, but what's a butt plug? Oh
my God, the fucking butt plug.
Fucking stop it.
She was fine with genital clamps. She read the words genital clamps. She understood what they meant. She may not have seen genital clamps before, but she was able to look at genital clamps and say, you know what? I don't want any part of that. And then she's like, butt plugs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why are you not able to employ the same reasoning power that you were just able to use on genital clamps for butt plugs?
Oh, yeah, AR-15s. I love AR-15s. AR-15s are great, but I got a question. What's a gun?
Yeah.
I mean, I just...
Now, what I always wonder about when I watch something like this, and would like to break down and Google it one day, I don't know when, but whenever I see something like this, anything with bondage or anything like that, this really seems like it should be an evangelical Christian kind of a kink. Because the now I know it doesn't always have to be that way, but the man is over the woman and the man dominates the woman and the woman is subservient to that man. It's got evangelical Christian written all over it.
Well, I mean, sure, if that's the dynamic, but it's not always that way. I mean, there are...
Right, understood. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of dominant women out there. And it's not always... what am I trying to say? I mean, you're not wrong. There's, and that's, I think, a lot of the draw for some potentially abusive, dominant males out there. And that's another aspect of this. Like, men are like,
oh god, a 50 Shades of Grey, whatever, and then they're forced to go and watch it with their significant others or whatever, and then they got this thing in their mind, and they're like, oh, well, if this is what she likes, and then they start abusing their woman, and their woman thinks it's hot because, oh yes, this is like 50 Shades of Grey, and then boom, you're in an abusive relationship.
Yep.
And you think it's completely acceptable because you have no prior knowledge to how shit should be working.
You have no frame of reference.
So yeah, in that matter, you're right. It absolutely is like an evangelical Christian kink, because they could totally get off on that, and they probably do. Like the Kansas, mayor, governor, whatever it was.
Yes. Kansas.
He straight tied her up, blindfolded her, and took pictures of her against her will. And anyways, she probably watched 50 Shades too. He probably watched 50 Shades. Anyway, but I mean, there's so many dynamics that you can have.
Yeah.
And I never read the books, so I can't really speak on the books themselves. But Lauren did try to push them on me. She was like, "I've got them on my Kindle. I can let you, or my Nook. I can share them with you, and you can read them." I was like, "I have absolutely 100% no interest in that whatsoever, Lauren."
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, they're really good." I said, "I doubt that."
Yep.
I said, I highly doubt that. And then when the movie came out, she was like, "Okay, well, we're going to go see a movie for my birthday, okay?" And I was like, "All right, fine, whatever. We're going to go watch 50 Shades of Grey. I already bought the tickets and you're forced to go." I was like, "Your birthday's not in February." Oh, well. Yeah, so I was forced to watch this movie, and it's like the whole time I'm just flabbergasted because I know how this shit works. Clearly. And the thing that pisses me off, this is what pisses me off. Okay, I don't care that this woman wrote Twilight fan fiction that got popular. I don't care this woman never wrote a goddamn thing in her life. I really don't. I mean, good on her. She wrote something.
Left out.
She wrote something. People liked it because they didn't, there's a difference between liking something in fan fiction and liking something in the real world. And there's a huge debate about how, people think, oh, you shouldn't have this stuff in fan fiction because of real life. But it's like, you know what? If you can't differentiate between fan fiction and real life, then maybe you should go get help.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, if there's certain things that you're like, oh my God, that can really happen. No, because this is fake.
Yeah.
You don't look at a sci-fi fic and be like, oh my God, that's real. It's fucking fiction. It's not called faction.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is it science fiction or is it science faction?
Yeah.
I can't get no science faction.
But it's just, I'm really proud of, anybody who can come from like that and succeed in this manner. However, it's not all specifically on her. Yeah, she should have educated herself on these manners, but she never knew her shit was going to get that popular. She didn't know somebody was going to approach her and say, "I want to buy the rights to this, and we're going to, we're going to publish it as a book." She didn't know she was going to have this level of success.
Yeah.
Okay, there are plenty of fan fiction stories out there who have absolutely no research behind them at all, and that's fine. But when you get to the level where you're being published on a high level by a big name publisher, you should have your editors do their fucking job.
Yeah.
If you're read this, you're going to edit it, you're going to need to do your own research and make sure it's being written well. Like, you can't, just from what I heard the gay guys on the YouTube video saying, how in the hell did that even pass muster for an editor?
Yeah.
I don't get it. So you should clean it up, fix it up, make her rewrite it a few times until you polish it nicely. Make sure that it's halfway decent.
Yeah.
And
if you're going to make a movie out of it, you've got so many other people this has to pass through before this movie's finished and filmed.
Yeah.
And you could fix shit during the movie portion of it if you wanted to as well. Like, there's so many layers to this. It's not just all on the writer at this point. So, like, yeah, dude, it may not have been that great fan fiction, but you put yourself out there, and then you had a shit ton of other people get their hands on it, and they didn't say anything. They didn't try to fix it. They didn't try to make you fix it. Like, so it's not all on her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on it. Yeah, it takes a village to fuck this up.
It really does. I mean, like, to this amount of, hey, knock it off. This amount of fuck up, it takes a lot of people to fuck it up this badly.
Yeah.
Weird, interesting fact about this movie, when they were in pre-production for 50 Shades of Grey, for whatever reason, author Bret Easton Ellis, the man who wrote the novel Less Than Zero and the novel American Psycho, said, "Oh my God, you're making a 50 Shades of Grey movie? Can I write the screenplay? That would be fucking awesome." And they said, "No, we're gonna find somebody else." And I gotta say, the man who came up with the idea for American Psycho, I would have loved to have seen his version of 50 Shades of Grey. It might have been actually pretty damn good, because that dude knows his shit. He's a huge fucking author. He's written a bajillion books. Less Than Zero is amazing. Fucking American Psycho.
Yeah.
The guy who came up with Patrick Bateman wanted to write this fucking movie.
3 hours to get home.
Okay.
Then.
I love you, honey. Thank you for helping me out. Thank you for bringing this shit home. Fuck this movie is what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
To summarize, this movie. The thing that pisses me off the most, 2 hours and 8 minutes for this piece of shit?
Yeah.
What the hell? Eleanor, do you want to watch 50 Shades of Grey? Oh, she's crying. She's crying because she doesn't want to.
You shouldn't put your mouth on the
She's crying because she doesn't want to see 50 Shades of Grey. That's the proper response. That's the proper response. So fuck this movie. That's all I have for this movie. It's more than it deserves.
I can't think of anything else that could possibly be said about this movie. Unlike Natasha, I did not find her very attractive at all. And the bones on that lady. Oh, it was. Oh God.
Was it a lady? Because she had no boobs.
She had no boobs. I don't.
She had no.
Yeah, I don't think we could be
sure. She was a.
I never really saw her.
Yeah, she looked very Melissa Ashley.
She what?
I didn't see her body.
She looked very much like porn actress Melissa Ashley.
Ah.
No boobs.
Yeah.
She looked like she could have been like 16.
It was kind of like, if you want to be fucking a boy, go get a boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking ancient Rome this shit.
So I think that's all I have.
It's also important to note that in the beginning of the second book in the Twilight series, Edward and Bella break up. And Bella ends up with another person, the werewolf,
really?
Jacob.
Okay.
So this book, 50 Shades of Grey. How many Twilight books are there? 4 or 5? 4?
Something like that.
I think.
I think there's 4, 5, 4.
Way more than this should be.
4 Twilight books. Yeah, there's 4 Twilight books, but there's only 3 50 Shades of Grey books. So this 50 Shades of Grey book encompasses all of the first Twilight book and the beginning of the second Twilight book. Because at the end of this film, fucking Anastasia and Christian are no longer together, and that's like the first 60 pages of the second Twilight book.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're getting like a Twilight and a half in 50 Shades of Grey. I just wanted to point that out. Twilight was huge for the bookstore business that I am no longer in. And on that positive note, that is it for this week. I swear that's it this time. Next week, see, I picked 50 Shades of Grey because occasionally I want to pick something that's so huge that will trick people who never listen to this podcast into listening to it.
Yeah.
That's why I picked 50 Shades of Grey. By picking a huge popular movie, we're gonna trick more listeners into listening to this shit, and that's why I picked 50 Shades of Grey. So basically, I'm SNL musical guesting it.
Aha, okay.
The way I always used to hear it is sometimes we want to get these indie bands in to do these cool indie bands that people don't know. But in order to get a cool indie band, we need one Katy Perry. So 1 week we get a Katy Perry, and once that happens, then we can get the indie band we want. And then after that, we get Pink. And then Pink is huge. And then after that, we can get another indie band. And then after that, Madonna. So now that we've done 50 Shades of Grey and it's fucking done and we're over, next week we're going to be watching a bizarre 2017 experimental ghost drama.
Okay.
It's really fucking weird. It's from last year, and it's simply titled A Ghost Story.
A ghost story from last year.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of it, that's great. Don't look it up. Don't IMDb it. Don't Wikipedia it. Don't just go into it blind. Get ready for some exciting pie-eating action. When you're watching this film, you might say, "What the fuck is up? What is wrong with the?" No, it's not letterboxed. It's square boxed.
Yeah.
This is a square boxed film. This is really bizarre, and I read so many reviews of this film, and this is what's going to happen. You're either going to fall in love with this amazing drama and its scope and the story it's trying to tell, this beautiful art film. You're going to either be blown away by it, or you're going to watch the worst film you've ever seen. The critics were split 50-50 about this.
Yeah.
This is either the greatest or the worst film I've ever seen. Sometimes it's both. But either way, get ready for some exciting pie-eating action.
Okay. Pie-eating action. Cool.
Yeah, it's already on the cough, so it's already there waiting for you. But that's next week. Next week, we are watching the 2017 bizarre experimental ghost drama, A Ghost Story. Also next week, we're going to be talking about an exciting Thor spinoff that I've come up with.
Yeah.
We've got another person, place, or thing we're going to be shitting on. We've got a legal warning in the beginning of the show. We're going to be watching the 1970 film Equinox. It's a really crappy, bizarre, weird film, but also it has a Criterion edition. Just to show you how much some people love this film.
Yeah.
There's a Criterion for Equinox. Some people love this film, and it's like, oh, this is ahead of its time, and allegedly, like, The Evil Dead was based a lot on this film. But also, it's shit.
Yes, it's shit. It's shit with some really big names.
Yeah.
Not acting, but behind the scenes.
Yeah. So that's next week.
Big fucking names. Yeah.
Yeah. Got an exciting next week planned. But now that I'm looking back at this episode, I got to say, All Things Considered is a show on NPR.
All Things Considered?
Yeah. Audie Cornish. That's it's a good show, and I learn a lot about politics. But when it's donation drive time, I turn the radio off. As all good Americans should. And also, all things considered, I gotta say, I think this has been a pretty good episode.
I think this has been a damn good episode.
It has been a damn good episode.
Yes,
Thank you.
has.
I was waiting for that. I agree. I concur.
So, until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve, and for Bella and Maxwell and Eleanor and Natasha and Destiny and Deanna and everybody else, I just want to say thanks for listening, and we will see you next week, you godless heathens.
And you douche waffles and poopy toots.
Bella, what did you think about 50 Shades of Grey?
It was bad.
Shut up, you didn't see 50 Shades of Grey.
And
looks
you
bad from what I
waffles.
thought.
Yeah. Okay.
And you waffles.
Thank you. And you waffles? Is that what
Yeah.
Maxwell said? Ran in
I've
to
never
get his
seen any of these
2 cents in.
signs before.
Do 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 do
I think all of them are made up.
Do 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 wow. Cut and print.
When I was little and we used to move all the time, I would write these notes and I would fold them up really small and I would hide them.
What did they say?
They were just like things I wanted to remember so that if I ever wanted to go back, there'd be a piece of me there waiting.
Did you see too much? All the awful dreams felt real at night. Did you know that she waking up? Did she die in the night? Leave you alone.
What is it you like about this house so much?
History? No place like home. That's a business.
A writer writes a novel. A songwriter writes a song. We do what we can to endure.
She found someone else. Leave me
We build our legacy piece by piece, and maybe the whole world will remember you, or maybe just a couple of people, but you do what you can to make sure you're still around after you're gone.